pushing in. He's trying to turn this around. He knows his time is running out. He knows he's about to be eliminated if he doesn't make a play right here, right now. But the Cocoon just gets chopped through. Smite goes down! And so does Flappers. A cross kill. Cassidy's in trouble. He's in bear form. He's pulling back.
Big Mix is in trouble though, full cheap on the board.
With the silence into the cheap shot, and they knock him down. Gators back are absolutely back, proving everyone wrong.
He gets blink countered by Calvin on match point. I cannot believe it. Calvin blinks in. Everybody dogpiling on top of WizK, landing those lockouts, and he's completely shut down. Pen and paper, the dark horse of the tournament. They said they were going to do their best. Drill's in trouble. Stun no trinket. Cedu, the smoke bomb. Is he in the bomb with him? He has to cancel him. He's dead anyway. Oh my God. And that's the dogs do it. 3-0.
This is True Shot Aura, however. They gotta be careful. Drill is so
He has to fake counterspell. He has to fake counterspell. He can't. He's just dead. He gets counterspell and Gators back. Close it out. Freezing trap again. He triggers it into a fear. Fades the fear. He still gets feared. Borog is MVP. Mercy is in trouble.
He's trying to get the cross kill. Can he get one more? Clump to trinkets up.
One more Shadowburn. One more.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to day number 2 of Cup number 3 of Midnight Season 1. My name is Aya. I'm here with Zico, Venriki, and Chan. We'll be joined with Super T's just a little bit later. We've got an exciting day of games once again. Yesterday, we were in EU. Today, we are in North America, and these teams are on the same journey as the EU players because they are all trying to get into BlizzCon. They're all trying to get as many points as they possibly can in the standings to try and make it into the top 4, to make it into the Midnight Season 1 finals. If not, will get sent into the gauntlet, of course, and that winner of the gauntlet will be the 4th team joining them in the gauntlet. And then, of course, $300,000 on the line for the grand finals, 5 EU teams and NA teams, and 1 China team. A lot of exciting stuff, a lot on the line. We'll keep everybody updated as we go along in terms of standings and where these teams lie, because there's some tough matchups that will be happening today, as happened yesterday. Of course, Zika, we had the EU games. You want to talk us through what we may have missed if we didn't catch those?
Yeah, for sure. So EU yesterday was basically a battle of Rogue Mage or beating Rogue Mage, starting off with Burger King versus Let's Go. Burger King showing that they have kind of adapted to the meta here, bringing Zeepai in on the Outlaw Rogue. Zeepai and Morrow looked absolutely deadly on the Rogue Mage. They took down OK Let's Go, which is a really strong team in their own right that took down Streamer Zone a little bit earlier during the open bracket. So Burger King showing, that Zeepai really is great on that rogue. And Lontar also flexing on that Prez Evoker instead of the Resto Druid, which we saw in this next series, which was Streamer Zone and Dobob. Streamer Zone having a bit of a disappointing performance in the open bracket, whereas Dobob actually looked really good in the open bracket. It was pretty crazy to see how that kind of turned. We all expected Dobob to win, but Streamer Zone was dominant, doing fantastic work here with Brunhilde and PMEC on the Outlaw Mage combo. And of course, next on that Resto Druid, looking next level. You can see the swap here onto Nala with no trinket in the smoke bomb, doing tons of damage. Next, pushing in, getting the Nature Swiftness Cyclone. Then we had a bit of an upset, Habos Babos. Known team on the ladder, known players in the EU region, but not really that coordinated as a team yet. Upsetting Stop Nerf Mistweaver in this matchup in the upper quarters. We saw Q-Near making his debut on the Outlaw Rogue as well, with Oscar on the Mage and Dex on the Resto Druid, which in my opinion could be probably the best Resto Druid right now in Europe. Just doing a great job on their RMD composition as well, taking down and upsetting basically the entire EU bracket. So EU was a slugfest with these Rogue Mage teams. It was about adapting, finding a way to beat them or finding a way to join the cartel.
Absolutely. Something else you may have missed as well is the open bracket games. Then on Wednesday, open signups, only 8 teams, can make it out alive from those games. What did we miss on Wednesday?
Yeah, so the North American open bracket, just like the European bracket, was a real treat.
We had some very fun games. It was honestly a little bit of a bloodbath for qualification this season. This series between Pre-Hardcore and Mom I'm On Stream was really back and forth. Pre-Hardcore really earning their qualification into that top 8 with some really nice games. Mom I'm On Stream did not make it easy, though. It was a back and forth series, which finished with Naj with an amazing smoke bomb onto Zen, and they were able to take him down. Another team I got my eye on is the Shuffle Club. You know, now that Mistweaver Monks they're not totally phased out. Teams are still playing it, but they're not as strong as they once were. Some of these other healers are really starting to get some wins. Tony on that Prez Evoker, with Beal now playing the Survival Hunter, and Vigorista still on that Death Knight. Looked really good in the open bracket, and this is a team I definitely have my eyes on. They're close to potentially making it into that top 3 if they have a good run here in today's games. So we'll have to wait and see, but also, I'm just curious to see what compositions these teams play. We just saw what happened in Europe through Zico's breakdown, but we're seeing some weird comps in NA. I mean, look at Gators back. They're playing double Outlaw Rogue with the Mistweaver Monk. I'm really curious to see what these teams have prepared for us, but I do think we're going to see a lot more healers represented in this cup than we have in the past, where it was kind of just Mistweaver domination.
Yeah, we'll see the 8 teams that made it from those open bracket games into today's games. Chan, any teams in particular we're going to be keeping an eye out on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of familiar faces, we all know about Gators back and Welcome to the JUNG. The two fighting for essentially the king of North America, both those teams going head to head. But also what I want to shout out is Shaw, Ha, Smiley Face. So right now they're in 11th place. They're still in the cup. If they are able to perform really well, they could crack into the gauntlet and perhaps go further into the finals and into BlizzCon potentially. This is a team I'm very interested in seeing because Nozarm on that Warlock, I'm a big fan of his, and I also want to see Dippy on the Mage. He's a reroll from Boomkin, now he's maining that Mage, very interesting to watch. And then lastly, Pre-Hardcore and Guild Bean. These two teams have some super old school rank 1 players, Chun-Li, Zeralium, Naj, Hansol. These guys are fighting for their lives in the gauntlet, for a spot in the gauntlet, and I'm very excited to see them play.
Yeah, very excited as well. Speaking of gauntlet, we can look at the standings where these teams are currently placed. And Zico, if you look at the standings here for North America, a little bit different than EU. We are extremely top heavy in NA.
Yes, my favorite part of the day, looking at the standings, seeing who is going to get sent and who is going to make it. And like you said, very top heavy with Gators back. Welcome to the JUNG. Tied for that first place position. It was all about these two teams last season, and this season is no different. Who is going to come out on top? I feel like both of them kind of, first it was Gators winning that race. Now Welcome to the JUNG is looking like they're winning that race. So both of these teams always very competitive, finding ways to beat each other. But the most interesting point for me is, of course, that third place position. Any team that has that asterisk next to their name is still in the tournament and can still earn points. And if you look at third place, 120 points F tier, and you look at ninth place, Pre-Hardcore, 72 points. There's a world where Pre-Hardcore could go on a dream run here and take that third place. So, Pre-Hardcore playing for Gauntlet and potentially even playing for third place, which is that guaranteed qualification to the finals. Sure, Ha, Smiley Face could upset this entire bracket as well if they beat Gators in their first match and potentially make their way into the Gauntlet, like Chan said. And then, of course, all the other teams are racing for that third place and racing for Gauntlet seeding.
All right, we'll of course keep everybody updated for the standings as we get through the bracket here for North America. It's shaping up to be pretty exciting day then if we're looking at all of these matches.
Yeah, so in the upper bracket, we talked about how it is top heavy. You have Gators back and Welcome to the JUNG. They've got their own respective matchups, but it'll be curious to see who comes out ahead potentially, or if one of these teams can kind of play spoiler. So we have Gators back versus Sure-Ha Smiley Face. Talk about like a David versus Goliath matchup. Haven't really seen too much of Sure-Ha Smiley Face, but they are a team full of really, really good players. Players like Dippy and Nazem, like Chanimal highlighted. So they could potentially play spoiler in this matchup. They're definitely not out of it. And then for the next match, F tier versus Welcome to the JUNG.
They have gone head-to-head a few times in these cups. Welcome to the Jung seems to come out ahead, but I feel like F tier is slowly getting more confident in the matchup. They're learning. They have some really interesting compositions prepared for this week, so I feel like this might be the week where they could pull off the upset against Welcome to the Jung, so it should be a very exciting game.
Definitely should be, Chan. And then we've got the lower bracket as well as some big matches down there.
Absolutely, and I'm super keen to see both of these matchups. First of all, though, we got Direwolves against Pre-Hardcore, so that's previous BlizzCon champions in CU, Sam Trill, and Mez against Pre-Hardcore with Naj and his RMP. This is not where you want to be as, previous BlizzCon champions in the losers bracket, fighting for the third spot to secure your and avoid the gauntlet, right? This is Direwolves' do or die situation for them, but also Pre-Hardcore's position to solidify their standing in the gauntlet and climb up in the standings. And then after that, we've got the Shuffle Club versus Guild Bean. And I enjoy watching the Shuffle Club. They bring that DK Hunter. It's very explosive. Vigorista on that team, especially on that DK. This is a full Brazilian team. And they've been doing super well, actually, in the past 2 cups. They're faced up against some absolute veterans in the AWC on Guild Bean. Kearney, Ceralium, Chun-Li, and Zac. Of course, Ceralium has previously won the AWC back when he used to play with Drake and Previ on Welcome to the Jung long ago. So really big games coming up for us in this cup, and these guys have to fight for their lives here.
Yeah, they definitely do. Cannot wait for these matches to get started. But Zico, looking at all of the matches that we're going to have today in North America, what is your matchup of the day for us?
It's got to be the one that Chan was just talking about, the Shuffle Club versus Guild Bean. Vigorista, baby. This team won me over. Last time, they won me over. The full Brazil squad. I am rooting for them. I'm not supposed to be biased towards the team because, I'm a commentator, but I am biased towards the Shuffle Club. They were really entertaining to watch with their Mage Lawnmower comp. If there's one thing I enjoy watching, it's mages getting deleted pre-ice block. And these guys, they definitely delivered on that. So I'm excited to see if they can do that again, man.
Is that why we're friends?
It is.
All right. Well, before we get into this first match, let's look at the prediction leaderboard. Chan, I'm definitely interested in your take on where you lie, because you've had to split your predictions with D-Machine.
I'm getting griefed a little bit by him, but it's all good. We run a back team Cup 3, and we fix that. But, staying in the middle, that's okay. Acceptable position to be in.
I didn't know I was that high up. All right, now now I feel like I've got the pressure. This is crazy. Zico, you're 11 ahead of us. 9. I can do math.
I will be honest. Our predictions leaderboard looks a lot like the North American point standings.
It does. With Zico in chat.
Yeah, Zico in chat. Just welcome to the Jung. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The rest of us are just down here fighting against each other. You're absolutely right. It mirrors it almost exactly. Well, all right, chat. You heard it yesterday. I'm going to tell it to you again. You got to lock in. You got to catch up to Zico. Someone's got to beat this guy. He's getting too powerful. He's too powerful. Look at him over there. He's smirking in the corner. Oh man, I thought you were going to say something, but you just made faces.
I've been trying to give you guys some freebies. Like some series I don't even predict.
Okay.
I used to be at 90% win rate, but some of these players they've upset. There's been a lot of upsets actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, predictions in chat are ready to go. Direwolves versus Pre-Hardcore, first series of the day. And then we've kind of got like the old dogs, Direwolves. They've been around for so long. They're going to be drawing on that veteran experience, playing the broadcast. What do you feel like is going on the side of Pre-Hardcore?
So Pre-Hardcore, they're a team of fan favorites, I'd say. You have like Naj and Hansel. People are very familiar with them. Mason as well. It's going to be interesting to see what they do end up running. But for the side of Naj and Hansel, like they have a ton of ladder experience. They're veteran players. They've been rank 1 for, since like Cataclysm or something like that. So they've got the experience. I'd say Direwolves more veterans when it comes to tournament play. So that might end up being a factor. I also feel like Direwolves, they'll have a lot more kind of compositional advantages because they do have 4 players on their roster. They flex on lots of different classes. So for Pre-Hardcore, I think it's going to be an uphill battle. But, if there's one comp that you can kind of one trick and do well, especially in today's meta, it is going to be that Rogue Mage. So you definitely cannot count this team out.
Yeah, Definitely not. I mean, Chan, what is it like kind of going from being a ladder player or teams that have like players that haven't quite played together and making that transition into a long-standing roster for AWC?
It's a lot different when you play on the ladder, isn't it? Like, it's, you know, you win and lose rating, your title might be on the line. But when you're actually playing in a tournament, even though it's online and not necessarily in person, there's so much more pressure on you, and that is really what determines whether you're gonna make it or break it, right? Going from ladder to tournament play, it's very, very hard. There's a lot of pressure on you. You got so many people watching you, and if you make a mistake, everyone's seeing that in HD. So it's tough, and we'll see if pre-hardcore can do it.
All right,
Any particular mistake you're thinking about there?
Oh yeah, Raikou dying pre-block. Always a fan favorite of that.
We need like a tally for every time you mention that, like a little quarter jar, like a swear jar. Like Chan mentions Raikou's mistakes. All right. Let's get into the predictions. Who wants to go first?
Zico,
you're up.
Sure, I'll go first. So, this is my analysis of the series. No offense to anyone out there. But Trill, Outlaw Rogue, this guy is just doing the most damage out of anyone. He's like 2 Outlaw Rogues. So, Trill, sorry Naj, when it comes to the sub rogue, you know, Naj, he's my guy. But when it comes to the Outlaw Rogue, Trill is going to gap Naj extremely hard. When it comes to the mage, I think Sam-I-Am, Hansel, they're both great mages. So I would say like pretty even. And when it comes to the healer, I would say Sea-Doo gap, because he can play more healers. He can play every single healer. So yeah, I think it's a 3-1 for the Wolves based on that. Yeah.
Okay. Chan, what is your prediction?
I think the old men still have it. I think it's a 3-0 for Direwolves.
Wow.
Like Zico says, man, you got Mr. World of Warcraft on your team over on Direwolves.
Yeah.
And you got Sam-I-Am on that mage. I'm not sure what healer Sea-Doo's gonna play. But I think that, you know, Trill and Sam-I-Am are just too good, and I think they're gonna make a huge difference. And if Sea-Doo's on offensive healer, maybe he can join in as well.
All right, Ven, what about you?
So I'm sure you guys are well aware that currently at the bottom of the leaderboard when it comes to predictions. So I will be making some bold predictions today, but I have to pick my moment to make that play, and this is not that moment. I am going to be going with a bit of a safer pick with Direwolves. I feel like their tournament experience and their comp flexibility will come out ahead, and I'm going for that perfect. I think it is going to be a 3-0 as well.
Wow. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go 3-2 pre-hardcore. I don't know. I'm feeling it.
Okay.
I like to see. Okay, this is the first time this has happened to me where I'm the only person by myself. Usually, at least I have Supatees. Also, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say everyone is so close, right? Like everyone, you have to pick your moment, and this is your moment. We'll see if it pays off.
This is my moment. Yeah, maybe this is pre-hardcore's moment. You never know.
Could be.
Also, Chan, D-Machine just added you in Discord. Don't ruin my prediction stats, bro. The little smoochy face.
Crazy. He's trolling so hard with his predictions, man. You got to separate us next time, production. Full grief.
Yeah, I think so. They've done it in the past, but you know, you guys are all busy, so I don't know. You get combined now, but you have a chance. You have a chance. All right, looks like Direwolf 72%, pre-hardcore 28%. So there's a lot going on the side of pre-hardcore. You know, they know that they're the underdogs, but hopefully they don't let that affect them, because when you're up against a team, Zico, like Direwolves, where they really can kind of pull anything out from the blind pick, I mean, how important is that first game?
Yeah, of course, it's going to be very important because you want to at least have that momentum and grab as many wins as you can, and then maybe you can get that outplay potential, even though you might get countered later on. But I think for Dire Wolves, this is also a great opportunity for them to kind of test what healer they want to run. That is the big question for me. I feel like pre-hardcore is going to run the Holy Priest. Dire Wolves, however. But I think for Dire Wolves, this is also a great opportunity for them to kind of test what healer they want to run. That is the big question for me. I feel like pre-hardcore is going to run the Holy Priest. Dire Wolves, however, they have options. I think we're going to see Sea-Doo on the Prez.
All right, let's see what they do. Line picks coming up. First game getting started shortly here. First of the day, lower bracket. So loser of this one, unfortunately knocked out of the tournament, won't make it to Championship Sunday. It's Dire Wolves versus pre-hardcore game number 1.
Interesting. And we talked about it a little bit what healer is going to reign supreme today? You know, in Cup number 1, Cup number 2, it really was all about that Mistweaver Monk. For now, it seems like we are going to be seeing the Presevoker from Sea-Doo and Mason on that priest once again. And is this, Chan, going to be one of those instances where we're talking about the flexibility of Direwolves that really puts them in a better position, or is Mason going to be able to hang on that priest?
I'm not too sure how this matchup's going to go, but big setup onto Sam I am. I do like the Presevoker though. I think what Direwolves want to do is have a very, very fast-paced game, and the Presevoker really enables that with the damage and the control it brings.
We got a sub-rogue too from Naj, so going for a little bit more crowd control, burst
Sea-Doo.
damage. Sea-Doo will survive. Time dilation, Obsidian Scales. He doesn't panic. Well done there by Sea-Doo. He actually just ended up using a stasis while he was stunned and got off the damage reduction, and now they can play aggressive once again. Big Fire Breath here onto Hansel, and because Trill is playing that Outlaw Rogue, the consistent damage of Direwolf should be much higher, but pre-hardcore setups should be lethal, and they can go after all 3 members of Direwolves. It seems like Sea-Doo will be a pressure point here, so make a swap on him once again. Just Emerald Communion at 100% health. Sea-Doo is not messing around whatsoever. He's going to top off his mana, top off his health, and at the same time, though, Sam might just go down. Dangerous situation. Time dilation trades out, and it looks like Sam will hold on, and now it's Direwolves' time to get aggressive.
Yeah, Direwolves actually have used a lot of cooldowns, but now finally Cheap Shot lands onto Mason. Really need to get a follow-up CC. Doesn't look like Sam IM is able to get there just yet. And this is a very, very strong opener, I feel like, for pre-hardcore. Mason hasn't really received any CC. They've gotten some good cooldowns out of Direwolves, and now Sea-Doo into the kidney shot. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, good backup by Sam. He managed to get the Dragon's Breath on that Ray of Frost, but now no Trinket and no Emerald Communion for Sea-Doo, so a very dangerous situation. He's loading up a Stasis, though, so he's going to be able to use that Cancel or a Stasis in the next stun lock, and we'll see if it's enough to keep him alive. Pre-hardcore looking for a potential game-winning setup. Can they do it? Here comes a stun lock, but it looks like Sea-Doo is going to be A-OK. There just was not enough damage, and unfortunately that smoke bomb attempt on Sea-Doo, it just wasn't enough to really force out anything, and Sea-Doo easily shrugs it off.
Yeah, really nice pills by Trill there. When Naj went for that chip shot on Sea-Doo, no Trinket, before he could get the wall off, Trill instantly there to protect him with a kidney shot. Hansel, though, having to go into the block. Mason gets counterspelled. Nice play by Sam IM. Let's see if Trill can follow that up. Gouge into the Sleepwalk combo from Direwolves. Hansel, he's left alone. Mason has to trade out that will.
Yeah, Hansel just spamming out Invises, just trying to avoid the Glacial Spike of Sam IM with the Mass Invis, with the Greater Invis. Polymorph's coming in. Full Polymorph on Trill. Sam finally under a little bit of pressure here. Alters back. Sea-Doo easily keeps him alive with the time dilation. Now it's going to be Hansel under fire. Let's see what happens here. Sea-Doo now into a full stun. Do they have the damage to take him down? It's going to be close, but it's not enough. Naj does Trinket out of that into a dismantle. Great peels there by Trill.
Trill absolutely saving him. Hansel going into his last block now with the Sleepwalk from Sea-Doo onto Mason. Nice plays by him. Pressing Group follows up. Let's see if they can do any more CC onto Mason. Looks like he is on DI though. Is able to top Hansel back up. There's so much damage onto Hansel if Trill can get his uptime.
Yeah, where are they going to go? What is pre-hardcore going to do? Sea-Doo in potential trouble, but that Emerald Communion rotating back up, and I think he's going to be completely fine. Dragon's Breath on Naj. Sam and Trill are doing an incredible job healing for Sea-Doo, and it seems like if they can't go after Sea-Doo, they just can't kill anybody. Hansel might just outright die. Mason's forced to trade out the Trinket and the Guardian, burning through many key cooldowns there, and I don't know. I feel like they might have to get crowd control on Sea-Doo. Go after Sam, maybe. Sam might just get smoked. He's low on health. Goes into his first ice block. I like that. Master Spell comes in. Sam could fall, but now that there's no crowd control, I think Sea-Doo's going to easily keep him alive. Dream Breath, time dilation, and now Direwolves is looking to strike back.
Yeah, absolutely. Mason, no Will of the Forsaken, no Trinket. Next time they get a setup onto him, if they can connect onto Hansel, he's in a lot of trouble. No Voidstone Barrier. Here it is, the full kidney shot. Can Sam IM or Sea-Doo get there? Get onto Mason. Doesn't look like there's any follow-up. Hansel, though, taking a lot of damage from Trill. Nice DB onto him just to slow it down a little bit. Defensive ring as well to slow down any pressure onto Hansel. They will survive until the next Will of the Forsaken, but if he gets put into a full sheep, Hansel's going to be in a ton of trouble.
Yeah, full sheep onto Sea-Doo. Sam IM blinks out of the stun. Emerald Communion trades. Hansel's low on health. He might just drop. Full blind on Mason. I don't know how Hansel's going to live this one, but there's no follow-up.
That's the sheep.
A kidney shot does come in. It is a race to the finish here. Sam's low on health. He gets interrupted, but it looks like Hansel will ultimately fall. Trill is all over him. Can Hansel live? The Spirit trades out, and Mason will keep him alive for the time being. Ice Block in just 3 seconds. He's got 3 seconds. He gets kicked. No, he got kicked on Frost. Oh, Guardian Spirit procs, though. That is a nightmare for Mason. He will not have that up for the remainder of the game, more than likely. That is a big dub for Direwolves.
Yeah, the silver lining is Mason does have the trinket coming back up in 10 seconds, but he's put into the full sleepwalk right now. Can Sea-Doo follow it up again? Do they have any follow-up CC onto Mason? Doesn't look like it just yet. Trill going for the full kidney shot. Sam I Am, can he land the poly? But he's taking a lot of damage himself. Yeah, looks like he fakes the kick, gets the full poly onto Mason. Shadow Word Death comes through though. Nice play from Mason to read that. Guardian Angel comes down, but Hansel, he's so low. Can he top him off?
Yeah, Spirit of the Redeemer, just heal after heal, Divine Hymn, Flash Heal, Flash Heal, Flash Heal. Mason doing what he can, but now no cooldowns left. There's nothing left for the side of pre-hardcore. They need to find a win, and can they? Trill's low on health. They get a stun lock. This is that miracle moment pre-hardcore needs, but if any crowd control goes out on a Mason, this could be game. A full kidney shot lands, but Hansel doing such a good job line of sighting. Sea-Doo's all over him now, throwing in the disintegrates. Can they take him down? Smoke bomb drops. Nicely done there by Naj. A defensive smoke bomb to keep Hansel alive, and they weather the storm and somehow are turning it around, and they get an ice block. A beautiful play there by Hansel with his positioning, but is it going to be enough? He gets interrupted and might just fall. He's so low on health and will get dropped. Direwolves, I mean, honestly, pre-hardcore did a really good job battling it back when it was looking hopeless. They were still finding cooldowns. It was a close game, but ultimately Direwolves find the win.
I feel like they were in the driving seat in the first minute and a half of this game, right? They were forcing tons of cooldowns from Sea-Doo. I like the target selection as well from the RMP onto the Preservation Evoker. Preservation Evoker very, very weak, especially into sub-rogues, into mages, because they're a bit of a close-range healer. But as the game progressed, Mason got put into those CC chains, and Hansel was the one who was falling behind in those exchanges. So Direwolves, perhaps a little bit nervous at the start of this game, just getting their bearings, but they turned it around very quickly.
All right, here we go. Got a series on our hand. I wonder what pre-hardcore is going to do. Are they going to stick with the subtlety rogue? Do we like the subtlety rogue? It felt like Sea-Doo was doing a really good job. So he basically has 3 things he can trade in the stuns. He can use his trinket, obviously. He can use his Emerald Communion, and then he's also able to use stasis while he's stun locked to stay alive. So it's difficult for pre-hardcore to actually find those all-in moments on Sea-Doo. I feel like the game was going better when they opted to just crowd control him instead of going after him. It seemed like Dire was very comfortable with Sea-Doo being trained. Trill and Samayam always backing them up. So I feel like we might need to see a bit of a different strategy from pre-hardcore, potentially going after Trill, potentially going after Samayam a little bit more, but that's not something that I would say Subtlety Rogue really excels at, is killing mages. Especially because every mage in the game is just playing Blink, right? Exactly. Subtlety Rogue wants to lock down a mage, and unfortunately, mages can just blink out of every stun. So maybe they want to put more attention on the Trill. Maybe Naj can go Outlaw, and that would put the matchup a little bit more in their favor. But I don't get the feeling they're really going to be able to kill Sea-Doo in this match reliably.
No, and, you know, they were forcing cooldowns from Sea-Doo early on in the game, pre-hardcore was, and it was looking good. But as soon as Sea-Doo ran out of walls, out of trinkets, he must have said something to Trill. Said, I'm dead, next go. And every single time Naj went for a cheap shot or kidney shot onto Sea-Doo, Trill was there. He stunned Naj, disarms his trinket, and just breaks it down. 2 goes in a row, and that allows Sea-Doo's trinket and walls to rotate back up, and it's just too hard to play. Sub-rogue into Outlaw is always just this... It's very, very difficult to play, because with the Sub-rogue, like you said, you have to kill it in stuns. Whereas the Outlaw Rogue is about high consistent damage, and so it makes it very telegraphed and easy for Trill. He knows when Sea-Doo goes into a stun, I need to be there to stun Naj and prevent any follow-up or damage landing on him as well.
Yeah, so you can see Sea-Doo also on that Evoker throwing in some very respectable damage, and I'm a huge fan of the Evoker. Sea-Doo plays it exceptionally well right now. It is a very high skill. I think it has a really high skill cap because there's so much you can do on it with sleep blocks and immuning crowd control. You have interrupts with your knock up and your knock back. We saw Sea-Doo actually a few times like pre-rescue the setup. So before he went into a stun, he rescued himself next to a pillar, and Samayam just instantly Dragon's Breath the rogue off of him. So just really good heads up plays, and Sea-Doo's been phenomenal at the specialization for a very long time. It looks like we will be seeing the same matchup just on a bigger map. Maldraxxus Coliseum is the map selection for pre-hardcore, and they're happy to just go into these rogue mage mirrors once again. And I think they're going to have to do some sort of different targeting here, but maybe they can just find that overwhelming damage on Sea-Doo. But it's just so difficult because you mentioned it with Trill being super disruptive with peels, right? Like he's got gouge, he's got dismantle, he can blind if he needs to, he can stun if he needs to, but
it's horrible. It's
the same for mage. Mass invisibility. You know, if you mass invis the end of the first cheap shot and he gets a gap with a time dilation, he's not going to die. You know, you get Dragon's Breath as you're doing your setup on the Sea-Doo, he's probably not going to die. It's like both these classes have so many peels, but Yeah, Trill's Rogue looking good.
Yeah, I like his gnome looking good.
He's a handsome fellow. Look at him.
Yeah, shaped his head.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure about this map pick, Ben. Now, Draxus, a sub RMP into an outlaw RME. A little bit sus. I feel like that you want a little bit of a smaller map, right? If you're playing sub rogue.
The only reason I think I would like this map if I was them is for crowd controlling Sea-Doo. Like, in theory,
He's drawn out, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in the middle of the map, and that has like traditionally been a weakness of the Prez Evoker, is getting just CC'd by Rogue Mage. So I do expect pre-hardcore just goes for more of a CC strategy, go after Trill, go after Sam in this match. That's the way. This is the only way this map makes any sense to me.
Yeah, looks like Naj is on the sub rogue again, though. I'm not the biggest fan of that one, but we'll see what happens. Able to get combat, cheap shot onto Sea-Doo. Opens onto Samayam, but look at Trill. He's counter going onto Naj and just completely breaks open the opener from pre-hardcore.
Yeah, he did get dismantled though. I mean, that was before Blades. I think that's Naj is probably going to be happy with that one. Hansel going for a big Ray, and they are going after Trill. They're going after the Rogue, and this is what you want to see. Full chastise here onto Sea-Doo. Ray of Frost gets immediately kicked. Nicely done there by Naj. Hansel under a little bit of fire here, but I do think Trill on a Gnome Rogue is going to be a huge pressure point in this matchup. They're already get Emerald Communion out of the way, and I feel like pre-hardcore, this is a much better start for them. However, Hansel gets interrupted. Smoke Bomb does come down. Hansel getting blasted by big damage. Mason is in the Spirit of the Redeemer, and looks like he will be able to top him off, but so far for targeting, I like what pre-hardcore is doing.
Yeah, big damage onto Hansel still. The Guardian Spirit gets traded up. Mason has the Trinket. Nice kidney shot into poly combo from Direwolves. Getting that CC onto Mason. Hansel playing a little bit too close, I think, to his healer. Letting Trill easily get that setup going. But kidney shot onto Sea-Doo. Can they follow that up? Nice kick from Trill. Of course, always playing bodyguard. And just sitting on Hansel, making it so impossible for him to get anything done.
Yeah, Sam getting cheap shot up. Ring of Frost here onto Trill. A good play. Hansel just going for a little bit of damage in the midfield. You can see Sea-Doo's position behind the pillar, realizing he does not have that much flexibility right now. No Emerald Communion, no nothing. They go after Sam, but looks like Sam will be able to survive. Rewind trades out, and Sea-Doo is playing the most passive we've seen so far in this game, which I think is good for pre-hardcore. However, they need to make something happen. Hansel might just outright die. Did they proc the Spirit of the... They didn't proc the Guardian Spirit. They did get the Ice Block out of the way, but this is not looking good. Cheap shot on Mason. Do they have a follow-up? A Ring of Frost lands into a potential sleepwalk here from Sea-Doo, and Hansel just might outright die.
He sleeps the will.
Yeah, really good job. He gets to sleep on the will, but is it enough to take down Hansel? I don't think so, but big cooldown straight at the same time. Samayam under fire once again.
Yeah, nice counter fear onto Sea-Doo, but looks like he's going to be just okay. Direwolves can press now. Sea-Doo on that fear DR. He is able to get shept, but Trill onto Hansel, making sure that doesn't happen. Sea-Doo threatening the sleepwalk now onto Mason, who had to trade out the will. Finally lands a sleepwalk. Samayam, though, taking a bit of damage. Hansel with the barrier, looks like he's okay, but full sheep lands onto Mason. Trinket available in 1 second. Hansel has to trade out his second block.
Yeah. Big damage coming in from the side of Trill, Samayam, and Sea-Doo. They look very comfortable in this matchup. Sleep out onto Naj. Sea-Doo just doing what he can to spam out the CC. But Sea-Doo's in trouble. Time dilation. Huge damage on Sea-Doo just out of nowhere. Great push there by pre-hardcore, and they do get the trinket. I mean, Sea-Doo really doesn't have that much left. They could potentially win this game. Trill's looking pretty durable. He's got the evasion, he's got the cloak, he's got the trinket. I think Sea-Doo's probably going to be the most vulnerable target here if they want to go after him. Some cooldowns rotating back up. Hansel has a Ray of Frost, but will he be able to use it? That is the question. Polymorph's being traded out, looking for the precog, but might just go down. Mason in desperation, trying to keep him alive. He went down to 5% health there. Big Ray of Frost, immediately counterspelled by Samayam. Samayam knows exactly what Hansel wants to do and shuts it down entirely.
Yeah, Mason had the trinket in that setup, though, trying to make that happen. And Naj is also without trinket, so Naj is a possible kill opportunity for Direwolves. Samayam, though, deciding to go for a big Ray of Frost onto Hansel. Nice fake. Hansel doesn't have the Ice Block ready. Mason has no cooldowns available for him either. Pre-hardcore, getting a counter setup onto Sea-Doo. No trinket available. Samayam choosing to block to protect his healer.
Yeah, Sea-Doo had the Emerald Communion, though, so a bit of a sketchy situation, and maybe Sam could end up falling on hypothermia. Hansel, though, is just so low on health and will go down. Overwhelming pressure here from Direwolves as they're up 2-0 in this series, and I feel like pre-hardcore, I don't mind the way they played this one. Their setups on Sea-Doo looked a little bit more threatening. They were keeping him guessing instead of only going after him. They were putting more pressure onto Sam, occasionally on Trill as well, but Direwolves seem to just always have an answer.
Yeah, I mean, That's the problem with playing the sub-rogue into the outlaw rogue, right? Sub-rogue in general is because you're so reliant on doing your setups inside those stuns, whether it's to get CC or to do a setup to kill someone, you know, killing them inside that stun. Look at this setup right here. Nudge, cheap shot Sea-Doo, but it's just so despy. He's behind the pillar. Hansel has the blink over there. It's so telegraphed. Goes for the Ray, and Sam I Am just knows that the Ray of Frost is coming. He's so quick with the counter spell, and they get so much counter pressure off that as well from Hansel blinking in offensively. Mason, of course, having to trinket during that sequence as well. It's just so hard to play the sub-rogue into certain comps, and outlaw rogue is just a nightmare to face, really.
Yep, it really is. So we've seen Naj actually play outlaw. It seems to be a lot more of a popular pick right now than the subtlety rogue, but maybe they feel like in like a holy priest versus preservation evoker matchup, they wouldn't win that as the outlaw, but I'm not so sure. I feel like they could potentially win. Sea-Doo is vulnerable to crowd control. You know, Sam I Am, I feel like as a mage, you're much more afraid of an outlaw rogue training you than a subtlety rogue.
100%.
Like you said, it's just so telegraphed. You're just going to blink out of the stuns. You're just going to CCM with Dragon's Breath and spam your invises during, you know, the Shadow Dance. Whereas an outlaw rogue, they're just always killing you. There's just, you know, at any moment, they can just proc between the eyes, resets over and over and over, and just kill you right away. So it's a lot more threatening.
Outlaw Rogue burst is no joke, right? You know, Sub Rogue is very telegraphed. It's coming inside the stuns. Whereas Outlaw Rogue, it's just, you get some resets in between the eyes. You can absolutely just burst someone down very unexpectedly. And you know how it feels to play a mage into an Outlaw Rogue. I would rather a Sub Rogue attacking me than an Outlaw Rogue any day of the week. Outlaw is by far the most annoying thing. Yeah, me too. It's awful to face. Very, very difficult. But Hook Point is going to be the map pick from pre-hardcore. I kind of like this a little bit more. I know on Maldraxxus it's a huge map, the Preservoke is a bit more exposed, but realistically, even on Nagrand, Sea-Doo was exposed and they couldn't really make anything material happen from that. Direwolves though, choosing to lock in the same thing, and this is do or die for pre-hardcore. Do they lock in the Sub-Rogue again, or are they going to switch it over to the Outlaw?
Well, but Naj is sticking true to the Subtlety Rogue dream, but is that going to be a Sub-Rogue nightmare? I don't know. This is you know, I know Naj. I talked to Naj. I don't think he likes Outlaw. Like, he would much rather Subtlety Rogue be the better spec, you know? Like, he's more about the setups. He wants to, you know, coordinate with his team. And unfortunately, I feel like just in this matchup, Direwolves have so many answers for those setups. And, you know, Hansel's under so much pressure in the match. It just makes it really difficult for them to get those clean setups that they want.
Yeah, and to your point earlier, you know, with the mage playing the blink, where you can blink out of stuns, it's a shorter cooldown as well compared to Shimmer, which is generally what mages run these days. It makes it so that the only real target is Sea-Doo himself and Trill. And when you're the healer and you know that, you know, yourself is the target as well as just one other guy, and your mage is basically immortal, it makes it a lot easier to react and read which is the next target that Naj is actually going for. I think the Sub-Rogue is a little bit behind in the meta. I'm not a big fan of it. He's going to have to do some miracles if he wants to win this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. An uphill battle. Their backs are against the wall. Let's just keep in mind, too, this is an elimination series. So, Cup number 3, final chance, you know, to solidify your position in that top 8. It means a lot here for pre-hardcore. For Direwolves, also means a lot. I mean, everyone is kind of clumped up with points. They want that opportunity to make it into the top 3 and just avoid the gauntlet altogether. And so far, Direwolves are looking good in this matchup. Let's see if they can close it out here, or if pre-hardcore is going to be able to battle it back. We saw them do it in the open bracket earlier this week in a really, really close series, so we cannot count them out just yet.
Yeah, Naj and Trill just passing each other, not seeing each other in stealth, but really want to see how the Rogues approach this opener. If Trill opens first, Naj is going to stun Trill. Naj opens first, Trill's going to stun Naj to break the opener. Looks like Naj goes on to Sea-Doo. Let's see what Trill can do.
All right.
I think Naj actually vanished and stunned him.
Okay, well, they're trying to get something going. Naj gets dismantled. Trill gets dismantled. Dismantle wars here. Sea-Doo just standing in the frozen orb. Trill taking a little bit of damage. Where is the setup going for pre-hardcore? Big deep breath there by Sea-Doo, trying to immune some crowd control. Rescue Sam I Am away. And it looks like he will be able to connect the heals. Big Ray of Frost. Sea-Doo is not messing around. I love that Sea-Doo's just making these... You know, Sea-Doo, I feel like, is a healer that's known for, like, really, really greedy plays. But in this series, he's not messing around. Like, he's just not afraid to trade the cooldowns right away and stay ahead of the damage.
Yeah, and I think that's the right decision. Going into the full blind, into the full poly now. Trill is leaving the kidney shot. half cheap shot lands onto him. Is he going to be able to survive? Cloak of Shadows comes out, gets away without having to trinket. It's a nice peel from Samayam there. The polymorph onto Naj, just breaking it up a little bit. Now onto Sidu though. The second Ray of Frost gets channeled. What does he have here? Is able to pre-wall it. Nice read from him, of course. Sleepwalk now onto Mason, following the kidney shot. Looks like he cancelled it for some reason. Not sure what happened there, but Hansel is the target for Direwolves.
Yeah, and I mean, Hansel is just going to be destroyed this entire game. Ray of Frost trades in. Sidu, though, in a polymorph, they're going after Trill. Okay, that's what you want to see. Trill, look at him. Look at his cooldowns. Nothing. He has 0 cooldowns right now. Sidu only has a trinket to really keep him alive. So if they can just get Sidu's trinket, there's a clear win condition here for them onto Trill. But at the same time, they need to stay alive. Hansel under fire, sleepwalk on Mason, kitty shot on Mason. The crowd control is never ending. They're making a swap on the priest. Big Ray of Frost. Can Mason survive? Hansel gets interrupted. Now, what are they going to do? Sidu actually trinkets as well. So, oh my gosh. I mean, Sidu trying to get aggressive and keep up the momentum. Maybe it'll work out. Hansel gets interrupted and destroyed. And Direwolves claim 3-0 in the series, eliminating Pre-Hardcore from the tournament in a really, really dominant series.
A little bit of a dodgy game, this one for Direwolves, even though they took the dub. I felt like, there were some win conditions for Pre-Hardcore in this game that weren't present in Game 1 and 2, but this series went, exactly as I predicted. 3-0. Very good for my predictions. Thank you, D-Machine. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, the Direwolves kind of just ran over Pre-Hardcore in most of these games.
Yeah, these final moments. I love the setup here onto Mason. It just puts so much pressure onto Mason when he's really, he wants to heal Hansel. Maybe he has to use the Serenity Charges on himself, going for a Benediction cast. Samayam actually goes for a Dragon's Breath there, but it's a smoke bomb that comes down, and he just unfortunately has run out of instant healing and was just put in a really, really tough spot. And I like that Sidu opted to play aggressive. I wonder what Sidu actually trinketed here. So what exactly happens here? I want to see, because Sidu was not afraid to trinket. There's a gouge. What happens after that? Kidney shot. I think he just trinkets to go for the win. I think they just had so much pressure.
He pre-timed out as well. I'm not sure if that was on himself or onto Trill, but he does use it as an opportunity to turn it around onto Hansel. And nice punish, but yeah.
I actually, like I said, I feel like Sidu traditionally is that healer that is just the greediest goblin, like
oh yeah.
I played with him. Yep. I've watched him for a long time. He wants to hold on to his cooldowns. He gives all of his fans heart attacks, but this series is like very uncharacteristic of him, like trinketing out aggressive, just instantly trading out his cooldowns. And I'm curious to see if this playstyle keeps up, because I liked it in the series.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this comp, and you saw it on EU as well, Burger King. I think it's very explosive and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, could not agree more. And they're going to be staying alive in the lower bracket. They're going to be waiting for an opponent from the upper bracket. But very exciting series, 3-0. My prediction was really bad. Really bad. And I owe these guys an apology. I really thought Pre-Hardcore had it in them, but couldn't even, unfortunately, get a win. But they did make it into the top 8, which is, quite a challenge in and of itself. So well done to them. And yeah,
look at Sidu's
damage.
Big damn.
Sheesh.
That's what you want to see, though. Like, I don't know if that was a tip the scales fire breath, but yeah, Preservation Evokers right now can do a lot of damage. It's a very aggressive healer, and yeah, it's like Chan said, it makes for very explosive games. I think it complements really well with a mage, where you can spam Sleepwalk and Polymorph, and Sidu can put up these numbers and keep his team alive and play this aggressive. I feel like it makes for a very threatening Direwolves.
Yeah, current meta really just putting a ton of pressure on those healers to adapt to basically a new healer every single week, and we're seeing Sidu be able to do that and pull out a 3-0. So we'll see what they have in store for us for the next time that we see them, but well done to them. Here is the bracket. Like I said, Direwolves still staying alive in the lower bracket. Unfortunately, Pre-Hardcore is out, and the next series, Chan, that we've got here is Shuffle Club versus Guild Bean.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, this is a big one. Shuffle Club, they have the potential to, if they do well in this cup, to solidify their spot in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
And avoid that gauntlet. No one wants to be in that gauntlet. It must be hell to be in there. You're just marinating for an entire month where you're going to prep against 4 other teams. It's brutal. They really do have a good opportunity to make it in there. But also on the other side, Guild Bean, they're in 8th place right now. And that's a team with players like Chun-Li and Ceralium. As I mentioned earlier, Ceralium is multiple-time AWC winner. He sent me packing to EU because it was too hard to beat him on NA. This guy's the GOAT, man, on that mage. And to see him in 8th place is crazy.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So definitely want to tune in for that series. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, it is Shuffle Club versus Guild Bean up next. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Shuffle Club versus Guild Bean up next in the lower bracket. Both teams facing elimination. Zico, you're kind of the #1 fan of Shuffle Club right now, it seems like.
Yup. I am the
No
number one
bias.
fan of the Shuffle Club. No, yeah. I just they won me over last weekend, or not last weekend, but last cup they won me over, and I'm excited to see how they are going to be able to perform now, because last last time we saw them, they were kind of like the mage lawnmower. Any mage in Vigorista's line of sight was getting deleted immediately, pre-blocked most of the time. But that was with Hunter on their team. Now, Hunter's been hit a little bit. Don't see too many Hunters around. We saw yesterday Kasu struggling a lot with BM Hunter. So I'm wondering if the Shuffle Club have something in store, if they have a way to kind of overcome that adversity that they are now facing.
Yeah. We'll have to see what they have in store for us. Guild Bean on the other side, Chan, kind of in their own lane in terms of what they are capable and what we're seeing them bring out in terms of comp. What do you want to see from this team against Shuffle Club?
Man, I think the Rogue Mage supremacy is real at the moment. I think, as Tony and Cassie over in EU call it, the cartel, it's too powerful, and Rogue Mage is just, it's too complete at the moment. I know Chun-Li used to play the Outlaw Rogue. I don't know if Zach has been practicing it that much, but I hope that they have been putting work into it, because I think it's the answer into anything Shuffle Club can play. And realistically, with Seralium on the team, Kearney backing them up, they could have a pretty solid chance of going far into Cup 3.
Yeah, they certainly could. I feel like both of these teams could have a solid chance, but the issue is only one of them can survive here in the lower bracket. We've got Guild Bean 13%, 87% in favor of Shuffle Club. Kind of surprised me, Zico. I feel like we've got some staple names in Guild Bean. I would have thought that chat would be a little bit more on their side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Seralium, like we mentioned, he used to be the GOAT. He won countless AWC seasons back on Luminosity Gaming. Definitely a team that has a lot of experience, farming Chan, for example. So, yeah, no, they do have the comp, they have the experience for sure. So I would say the Shuffle Club is definitely the underdog in this one. But I think they won a lot of people's hearts over as well. I think a lot of people are going into this voting with their heart, which is exactly what I need when we make our predictions.
All right, well,
let's capitalize on that.
Let's do that. What is your prediction then, Zico?
I mean, my brain is saying Rogue Mage. Go with the Rogue Mage. What are you doing? It's a Rogue Mage. Rogue Mage are just winning everything right now. And it's, Guild Bean. They have a strong Rogue Mage. But my heart is very conflicted. It wants the Shuffle Club to win.
Okay. Chan, what about you?
Yeah, I think I believe in Rogue Mage too much at the moment. You see, I think it's top 4 is legit just Rogue Mage. I think NA, we have some interesting meta picks over here, but I don't know, man. It's got to be 3-1 for the Rogue Mage for Guild Bean. I'll give the 1 pre-block death as standard.
All right.
Curse.
You know what?
Man.
I'm gonna go with my heart.
Gonna...
I'm gonna let you. I can afford it. You know what? I can afford it. I can afford to splurge a prediction here, so I am going to go with the Shuffle Club. 3-1. 3-2. 3-2.
3-2, Shuffle Club.
3-2.
I really want Shuffle Club to win. I really do, but I feel like Guild Bean, I'm kind of with you. Chan, I feel like that I hate it. 3-1 though. I think it's going to be for Guild Bean. But we'll see if Shuffle Club can prove me wrong. Thank you. Okay, looks like Ven 3-0 for Guild Bean as well. Super T is on the side of Shuffle Club. But I'm so excited. I don't know. I feel like both of these teams could they've kind of been, I think, underestimated this entire season, it feels like, and it seems like now this is kind of the proving grounds for them. Unfortunately, only one of these teams is going to be able to move forward in the lower bracket as well. So this is a very important game for both of these. I'm sure both these teams, Chan, I'm sure the emotions behind the scenes, the stress, hopefully isn't getting to them, but I'm sure it's there. Oh
yeah, absolutely. The good thing on Guild Bean's side though is they've got some veterans on that team, right? So they're chilling, but Shuffle Club, man, these guys have, they used to compete long time ago. I think 2018 AWC, that's 8 years ago, guys. It's been a long time, and we haven't really seen them compete in AWC since then. So pressure is building. They need to, get as far as they can to make sure that they have the best chance of making it deep into the gauntlet.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a LATAM team in a long time as well, or a couple of LATAM players sprinkled here and there, but not a full LATAM team representing that region. So definitely cool to see them get this far. They've only got, they just got another tier, another KISS game that they have to survive. But Shuffle Club, 39%, Guild Bean, 61%. So chat's kind of dipping in their favor a little bit on the side of Guild Bean. Looks like we maybe have convinced them. Zeke, are you still brooding with your points or voting with your points in the chat? Are you playing mind games still? Is that what's going on?
I feel like I shouldn't be disclosing such information at this time. But let's just say that no matter what happens here, I feel like a winner. I feel like a winner.
Okay, all right. Like you said, you can afford it. You can afford it. All right. Let's see what they're going to bring out for the Blind Pigs. Game number 1 starting now. The Shuffle Club versus Guild Bean. Unfortunately, loser of this one knocked out. Winner gets to stay alive for yet another series down in the lower bracket.
Must be nice to be in first place, Zico. For a change.
Yeah, for a change. Wow, that's crazy. Right now. Going out here. Oh, the Shuffle Club. The Shuffle Club. Wait, what is this? Guild Bean? What?
What?
They're doing their thing, man. They're doing their thing.
No.
Yes.
Okay. You can't lawnmower the mage if there is no mage. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is North America right now. We got double Outlaw Rogue with the Mistweaver, and they're going after Tony Black right now. Taking quite a beating here in the opening stages, but the Ret BM Hunter, I feel like it could be a decent option as well. Going after Chun-Li here, full diamond eyes. Chun-Li might just die in the opener. Has to trade out the cloak. Now Arc in trouble. They didn't use the trinket there though, so that's still a nice exchange. That was a close call. It was a lot of greed coming out from the Outlaw Rogues, but they managed to pull ahead. Now Arc in a lot of trouble. Tony Black rescues him away from the Rogues, but
Tony now
rescues him into a double leg sweep. They swap into Tony. Taking a lot of damage there as well. Nice triple blind there to stall up the situation. But Chun actually trinkets aggressively there. He gets met with a Hodge. Does get dispelled. Does get the bubble as well there. And now they're pushing for Arc's bubble. Can he hold on to it for a little bit longer? He's still 50% HP. He's kiting on the Divine Steed. Catches a big heal. And they got Tony's trinket there. It's just pure chaos. Non-stop pressure right now, Chen.
I love the North American meta. Tony Black getting kicked there. Arc does have the Sank ready. Let's see if Guild Bean can get that cross CC onto Tony and cover on Arc at the same time. Kidney shot, double kidney shot. Beautiful timing. 3, 2, 1, go. They choose to go to Tony. Isn't able to pre-wall it. Do they have any follow-up? Uses the Void Stone. He's able to survive for now. But that's super good because now Arc has the Blessing of Sank for next Sundia.
Yeah, Sank is going to be crucial here. Also has the protection as well. It's going to be very nice into the comp that Guild Bean is running. But this double Outlaw Rogue is going to have a lot of pressure. Tony's mana is already suffering in this position. But they have no trinket on Chun. There's the Sleepwalk onto Kearney. Can they connect the Hammer of Justice onto Chun? It doesn't look like Arc is going to have it available just yet. Full kidney shot now onto Arc. Gets rescued away by Tony. Sleepwalk gets casted once again onto Kearney. Does manage to break out of it, however. And now Chun still in a little bit of trouble here, feeling the pressure from the BM Hunter. Tony sitting through a blind into a gouge. Arc still just playing very, very defensive in this position. But Beal on that Hunter is doing a lot of work. But here comes the damage. Arc dropping very, very low. Tony managing to stay alive, though, with the rewind. But still Arc so low. Triple blind. Full Hodge onto Kearney. Defensively, but Kearney puts away, and Arc is still just running. I mean, this is a Ret Paladin against 2 Rogues, but all he's doing is just run on his mount, running away from the fight the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing Red Hunter into melee cleave, I feel like it's not too bad if you get to hit 2 stacked players. But the problem is the double Outlaw Rogue does so much damage that Arc is just running the entire game. Gets put into a kidney shot now. Nice gouge into leg sweep combo onto Tony Black. Can they get anything more out of it? Looks like he just trades out the wall and should be okay. But on the mana side, they're actually evened up now.
Yeah, and I mean, the Shuffle Club kind of living true to their name right now. This is looking like a shuffle lobby here. Kearney in a full Hodge. Could go down right now. Takes huge damage. Does have to trinket and trade the life cocoon. They break through it. Kearney's still not feeling too safe here out of the woods. But a kidney shot defensively there onto Beal. Kearney managing to drop some spinning crane kicks. Arc still at 30-40%. This could be the bubble here. Can they heal him up? Doesn't look like it. Tony is struggling here. There it is. The Divine Shield will be forced. And now, all of a sudden, there is a big opening here onto Beal as well. He's getting collateral damage here from these 2 thugs on Guild Bean.
That was the blind commit onto Tony there, but I do want to see them go after Kearney. Gets put into the full Hodge, does port out to safety. Nice read from Kearney there, ready for that. Is going to be okay. Nice smoke bomb as well. Looks like it was kind of an offensive bomb onto Arc. Arc doesn't have bubble. He does have Lay on Hands ready for himself though, and Tony Black had to trick it out to save him there.
Yeah, nice Shield of Vengeance there as well. The Red Paladin keeping himself alive for now, but still has the Blessing of Protection as well to his name. So there's still some buttons, but Ark is trying to be greedy. He's kiting a lot. He's just forced to constantly run from these rogues. Just never above 50% HP. The Prez Evoker gets kicked in that situation into a kidney shot. Full kidney shot onto Ark as well. And that is going to be the Blessing of Protection. But here comes the Hodge onto Kearney. Can they change it with anything? No Sleepwalk to follow it up. Unfortunately, Beal gets swapped to as well, dropping very low. Chun-Li is kiting away. No evasion. Has the cloak though. He could use that to stay alive for now. But Beal caught up in a stun. Caught up in a Song of Chi-Ji. Chun-Li getting cleaved. Kearney getting cleaved. Arc now getting disarmed. Can't do anything. And he might just go down right here. Double Rogue just trying to topple him. Full Sleepwalk gets casted up, but they overlap it with the Diamond Dice. Kearney has to trinket anyway. And now full chaos on the map. Arc recovers. Everyone recovers. But both healers, no mana left. And cooldowns are low.
Yeah, he has Lay on Hands. That's the last cooldown available to the Shuffle Club. Rewind coming back up in 15 seconds, so Lay on Hands finally gets committed. Both healers almost Kearney on the lower end of that. Big damage onto Arc right now. Can he make it to the time? Rewind. 2 seconds! So close.
Oh, so close to get that rewind back. 3, 2, 1. Now Tony Black has it. And, I mean, that was a really close game for sure. But Guild Bean coming in with some surprises. We've been talking up Seralium this entire time. And guess what? He's just going to be chilling on the bench. Does not want to be part of the lawnmower that Shuffle Club is bringing, and instead they're just bringing in 2 outlaw rogues, and that CC chain in the end was quite nice actually. It was the smoke bomb, but this was a little bit earlier in the match where they got the. It's so funny because when I handed it over to you, you're like, oh, he has Lay on Hands. Oh, never mind, it was committed. And it's just the story of the game. Anytime you look at these highlights, it's just Arc running for his life and using a cooldown to try to stay alive. So they get the full kidney, double leg sweep. They get a kidney shot there onto Arc, and they get the smoke bomb there on the edge. What getting the smoke bomb on the edge means, it means that you're not hitting both players. If you hit the healer and the DPS in that situation, then the healer can heal the DPS because they're both in the smoke. But if the smoke is only connected on the red and the healer is outside, then the smoke bomb will act as kind of a pillar that will create line of sight, and the healer has to walk in, and there's just not enough time to do that in this position. So really nice smoke bomb there. Rogues usually will take a step to the right here. You can see Zach doing it.
From Zach.
And then dropping the smoke bomb there. A lot of beginner rogues will just drop the smoke bomb on the target while they're hitting it, and then it will just be, wasted. But Zach, pretty clean on the rogue.
I mean, maxing the positioning a little bit. Like to see that from him. He looks pretty comfortable on the rogue, and if you look at details, man, Zach is kind of farming them.
Yeah,
he's read a rotation guide for sure, but Chun-Li lagging a little bit behind. Was a little bit more of the target compared to Zach in this game. But what did you think of this game, Z? I feel like it was unplayable for Ark start to finish. He was just getting ran at. He was a Ret Paladin running away on his steed the entire game, just desperately trying to survive. And when you're playing in a tournament in the losers bracket in this position, and you're the one just permanently under fire, it's a horrible situation.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's when mistakes happen. Like, if you're in a tournament, you always want to be the team that's offensive, the team that's putting on the pressure, because that's when you're going to be able to force more mistakes, because you're just going to have to play it way more clean, like perfectly defensively. And if you overlap one thing, it's just immediately kind of over. With that said, though, I actually didn't mind compositionally what the Shuffle Club ran, because they died. There was a kind of a little bit preemptive communion that came out right before that kill happened. And I feel like we could have micromanaged it a little bit better, and that could have been enough to stall for that rewind. And at that point, they were winning on mana, and I think the BM Hunter also just gets more and more value the longer the game goes on, because BM Hunter damage is kind of unavoidable. It's just like a dot, it's just a dot that's just there. It's like a, would you take $1 million if you have a slow snail that's chasing you, your whole life, and if it catches you, it one-shots you. It's like kind of like that. That's kind of the BM Hunter, BM Hunter is the snail. Eventually, it catches up to you.
I don't disagree. I think this matchup wasn't a loss from the get-go. I wonder if that was potentially their pick for Rogue Mage as an answer, or if they were expecting this double Outlaw Rogue comp. We've seen this played by the Gators before. First time I think we're seeing it from Guild Bean, but what do you think?
I think we saw Guild Bean actually run this in... Did they run it in the... No, it was F tier that ran it in the open bracket. It's hard to keep track because the meta in
There's so many
NA...
double Outlaws.
Yeah, there's a lot of double Outlaws. Like, you know, like I've been playing a lot of TBC and there's a lot of double Rogue teams there. A lot of double Rogues. And the double Outlaw meta creeping into retail here as well. Maybe they got some inspiration from the TBC ladder, but the Shuffle Club are going to be running it back the exact same comp. And I actually don't mind that. I don't think that was a bad game. I feel like Arc did a good job kiting, did a good job kind of handling the pressure. It was just a couple of moments where, you know, I think they could have greeted a little bit longer with some of their cooldowns. And I think Beal was starting to kind of become powerful in that game. So I think...
Yeah, I mean, in terms of mana, it was very, very close. I'm curious if I mean, I feel like the double Outlaw, it just does so much damage. Outlaw Rogue right now, of course, I think it's one of the highest single target sustained damage classes. Of course, if you get some good RNG, some nice resets, it can absolutely cook the enemy team. And the fact that it's doing on plate, on the Ret Paladin of Arc, I can't imagine what it would be like if there are two Outlaw Rogues on a Mage, for example. So interesting to see how the meta is going to develop. It looks like NA is ahead of the meta once again with the double Outlaw. But yeah, I mean, it's really brutal for Arc to play in this position. If you have to run the whole game, and honestly, they had an opportunity here or there where Kearney didn't have Trinket. He had to Trinket Cocoon at some point. But overall, it really felt like Guild Bean was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. They have a little bit more room to navigate with here, but I feel like Tony is playing a good Prez Evoker. He's doing a great job with that, but I do feel like the Prez Evoker, I want to see a little bit more, you know? I want to see I feel like the Prez Evoker has to be a little bit clutch for it to work. You have to be able to just get a lot of CC out, you have to be able to get damage out, you have to be able to be clutch with your immunities and just your cooldown management. Not easy to do well with it. I feel like Tony had a decent game, but I think he can do better. Last time we saw them, he did a little bit better. Now he gets sapped into a kidney shot, gets the Sanctuary though, and Arc is immediately saving the day here on the Red Pilot, already on the Steed, hiding around with the Freedom, swap to Beal. Beal is going to be completely fine in that position. Arc already having to use his Trinket, and Kearney adding in a lot of damage too on that Mistweaver with the spinning crane kicks. He's doing a lot of work here, but nice double roots coming out from Tony. Tony trying to get some offensive pressure here with the Disintegrates as well, but not able to find the Sleep Breath, or the Sleepwalk, sorry. Gets a full trap on the Chun-Li. Kidney shot onto Tony. Arc in trouble. Trades out the Shield of Vengeance, mounts away, and he's going to start kiting.
Yeah, full hodge onto Kearney though. I really like this strat from the Shuffle Club. Going after Kearney, throwing Diamond Ice Traps onto one of the Rogues, blinding the Rogues, and just running at Kearney and making it unplayable for him. Chun, though, has a trade-out evasion. Looks like he's going to be okay, but this is kind of an interesting adaptation. Arc! Oh my god, has a trade-out delay on hands. Double Outlaw Rogue, 50k DPS from Zach right now onto him. Absolutely brutal for Arc to deal with, and he has to run away from Kearney now and look out for himself. Yeah,
Communion coming out on the blind. They smoke bomb the Communion here, trying to deny some of its healing, but I think actually I really like that Communion. It got good value there, and they kind of dropped the smoke bomb, but Arc still, even on their own goal, is not feeling safe. Second smoke bomb coming out, Kearney in trouble. Arc gets stopped, Deep Breath connect. Full Sleepwalk gets casted here. Kearney dropping so low. Oh my goodness. This game, if you blink, there could be a kill happening. And they get a nice kick there onto Tony. Arc in so much trouble. He gets rescued away, paralyzed onto Tony. Arc running for the hills. That's got to be the bubble. Beautiful leg sweep. How did he hit that leg sweep onto Tony? Tony's just dead. How did he hit that leg sweep? What was that? How did you see the longest legs I've ever seen? He hit it behind the pillar and on the healer in the middle of the map. What is going on?
That was kind of clean. I mean, this double Outlaw Rogue comp, Z, I'm scared, man. I'm scared who's going to pick this up in EU for tomorrow. Who's logging into the Outlaw Rogue right now? Because this was brutal. Man, Arc is just, his health is just yo-yoing up and down. the entire time, has to trade out his bubble, and you know what Guild Bean says? They just tap target over back onto Tony and kill him. It's a feast. It's like they don't know who to kill in this situation.
Oh my god. Dude, that leg sweep, we have to rewatch that in slow-mo. How did they hit that? That was crazy. And then they chain it with the kidney to get the touch of death. We're gonna have to see it again, but yeah, I mean, it's just a buffet, like you said. Like, they can just kill anything. I changed my mind. I don't like this comp anymore from the Shuffle Club. It's time to get the Vika Restay in here, dude, as soon as possible.
The DK gets double outlaw. He's gonna get marinated.
Yeah, he's good. I don't know. Wait, let's see this leg sweep right here. How did
Back
he
it up a little
get
bit.
that? Yeah, how did he get that? I feel like he like flipped him behind a pillar. Okay, so this was right. Oh, look at, oh my god, look at the tech.
Oh, this looks
What's
cool.
going
This looks
on?
cool.
Oh my god. Okay, production.
So look at him roll in.
Wait, it's right before this. It's before this. There, here.
He rolls in.
He rolls in and what? How did he hit arc there behind the pillar? That was so clean. That was insane.
This guy's got some long legs. He might be 6'7" IRL, but there's also some tech where if you jump or strafe, AoE abilities also get extended a little bit. I don't know if he did that in that particular moment, but very, very nice punish from Guild Bean, man.
And the immediate swap too, like they immediately noticed that too. They're like, okay, we hit both with the leg sweep, we got the bubble immediately. Okay, go on the guy in the leg sweep, go on Tony here. We just turn around, boom, follow it up with the kidney shot. I mean, this is peak double rogue right here. Beautiful.
I think Ark could have actually saved him when he bubbled. He should have came back and sanked Tony out of that half kidney shot. I think he chose to use a different global, came in a little bit late, and because of that, Tony did go down. I think if he did come out of that kidney shot a little bit sooner, he might have been able to use something to save himself there. But nonetheless, man, this double outlaw is so brutal. And look at the damage Zach provided in that last setup. 400k.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chun needs to copy Zach's build or rotation or whatever Zach is doing, his gameplay. Chun, I think he's playing it like a monk right now. He's just trying to do big bursts, but Zach is just out there, man. Like, Zach is looking like a deadly outlaw rogue. And with Ceralium on this roster as well, and with how powerful Rogue Mage is, Guild Bean has really picked up, you know, a lot of different tools here. They have Windwalker Mage, they have Outlaw Rogue Mage, they have Double Rogue. Like, they got a lot of different things they can do.
Yeah, and I think the Mist Weaver really complements this comp as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's more stuns. Why not? And also more damage.
In cap?
Touch of Death. In cap, yeah. Yeah, it's basically another class with a kidney shot, with an AoE kidney shot, and a ranged gouge, right? So works perfect, and you get to execute. So
yeah,
it works really well.
Zen Spheres as well.
Yeah, the spinning crane kicks. Like, Ernie is doing a lot of extra damage too, just adding it in. And the Shuffle Club, I mean, you can tell, like, what are we doing here? What are we gonna play? You can tell they are kind of hesitating right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you go down 0-2. You have a curveball thrown at you, and you don't know what to pick. Using the full 2 minutes from 2 minute time limit to really just discuss as a team and strategize. What do we do here? Do we bring in Vigorista? Do we bring in the DK? I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not a fan of that one. I feel like the DK against the double outlaw rogue is going to get absolutely cooked in record time. But this hook point,
Microwave DK.
yeah, hook point, small map where the Mistweaver can get on top of your healer and just not give you any space that's rough. I don't know what the Shuffle Club has available to them. I feel like they're kind of pigeonholed into the Hunter plus either Ret or DK. Maybe Ret Hunter is the best option that they do have, but offensively at least it was a bloodbath, right? It was sketchy. There was one point where Chun almost went down, had to trade out the evasion. One point where Kearney had to cocoon himself at 10% health, choosing to go for the Frost DK Marks Hunter Pres Evoker now.
The lawnmower.
I just want to say every single one of those targets on the Shuffle Club is delicious for an Outlaw Rogue. 2 Outlaw Rogues on them, these guys are going to get marinated unless they have the fattest Frost DK pop on Guild Bean.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but I don't know. How do I feel about the map, though? I don't know if I want to pick Hook Point into 2 Outlaw Rogues. It feels like there's kind of like the home field advantage for them.
I kind of feel like you want a Tolvaron and Maldraxxus if you're going to plan on playing this DK Hunter. But, of course, you have to pick the map before you really talk about the comp. And, you know, after picking the map, maybe they realized we got to switch to the DK. So maybe shooting themselves in the foot here. But at the same time, smaller map, it's also going to be harder for, you know, the Outlaw Rogues to get away. They are very slippery with those grappling hooks. And maybe on Hook Point, they can grip them back to score a kill.
Yeah, I guess. But also, there's a lot of room to stack up here. And take a look at some transmogs here. So Chun-Li is looking like a bandit, like straight up.
Yeah.
This you can tell. Like this is
The Fire's Brotherhood, maybe?
I think the Fire's Brotherhood use different masks. They use like those red masks that kind of cover only your chin. Yeah, but it does look a little bit like a Defiance Bandit maybe.
T2 helmet reskinned.
Yeah, what was that? I think it's from Gruul Slayer, Out of Nature's Breath. I could be wrong.
Sounds like a healing helmet.
Get the Tablet of the Void. Yeah, it is a healing helmet. Well, that's the cool thing about Transmog, though. You can just use any like cloth gear on any cloth character, any leather gear. Obviously, you know this, but for those who don't know, let's see what else we got. Okay.
Oh. This one is a little bit confusing here.
Yeah.
Is that even a transmog? Can we get a mouse over on the shoulders? Oh
Okay.
no, Zach.
Oh.
Come on.
Is this just natty? Oh, he's just going
he's
full
full
natty. Oh, come on, man.
Can we get a
What?
look on the specs though? Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't like this at all. Wait, the goggles though? Okay. Yeah, no, he's just full natty. I don't know. I feel like we could transmog this. Like, come on, we gotta put some effort into.
But the thing is though, when you have a bad mog,
looks.
when you have a bad mog, either you're the goats or you're kind of terrible. And I gotta say, Zach is absolutely cranking the damage meters right now. So I know which boat he's in, but Kearney.
So cool. on your bad mog topic,
Yeah.
either you look good, and because you look good, you play good, and you do a lot of damage, or you look homeless. But because you look homeless, you tilt your opponent, and they play worse. So there's two logic, there's two lines of logic that you can go with. Obviously, Zach is going with the second one here, but he also is playing well, so I guess it goes against it. But yeah, enough talk about transmogs. We have a elimination series here. The Shuffle Club, Despy for some points to get a full trap onto Kearney. They're going after Chun-Li. They could get a big pop here. Beal caught up in a kidney shot already. But I don't know how I feel about the MM Hunter. I feel like he's going to get blinded or disarmed on every single one of these pops, but we'll see if he can actually get some value here. Vigarista, though, is going to be the target of choice. And like you said, Chan, there's a lot of targets to marinate here if you are one of these Outlaw Rogues.
Absolutely, and Kearney under a lot of fire around. This is a Frost DK and the Marks Hunter pop. Nice port from Kearney. Earlier in the game on the Grip Blinding Sleet. Cancelling that out from Vigorista. And the Frost DK really needs to get those setups going and consistently. Otherwise, they aren't able to force cooldowns. But BL, target of choice for Guild Bean. The Marks Hunter getting absolutely marinated. Nice kick onto Tony Black. BL is going to have a very, very tough game with two Outlaw Rogues just sitting on him the entire round.
Yeah, and I love these cross kicks. They're generating so much pressure to get another quick kick there into a blind. But sadly for them, they broke the blind. Kearney, though, gets stunned here. Doesn't have too much responses in this position. Beal, though, taking a lot of damage. Vigorista making his way over to Kearney, but Kearney manages to get top here behind the pillar. Bit of a 1v1 situation going on, and a 2v2 on the other side. Double blinding shot coming out onto the Rogues here. Chun-Li just getting crowd controlled as much as possible. Beal looking for the damage here. Big rapid fire connecting here onto Kearney. He's going to be the target of choice, but look at Vigorista. Full kidney shot onto Tony, and they're going to kidney shot him and smoke bomb his Emerald Communion. I don't know how much I like that smoke bomb, though. Vigorista just walks right back into it, but huge leg sweep coming through here. Vigorista dropping to 50% HP, asphyxiate onto Chun-Li. Chun is going to be the target as well. Tony popping away here, doing a lot of damage. You got a full trap on the Kearney, and they get the sleepwalk. They get the sleepwalk as well. They're kiting away. This could be a moment. They could take down Zach right now. Big damage coming through, but Kearney blocks it with the Will of the Forsaken and the Renewal.
Yeah, Chun-Li had to use his evasion in that sequence as well, so nice push from the Shuffle Club, showing a few more signs of life compared to the Red Hunter, so I do like this a little bit more, but Vigorista, man, he does have the IBF, is the target of choice, and he's taking so much damage. Tony Black, he has to do so much work to heal these double Outlaw Rogues.
Yeah, Chun-Li gets stunned there behind the pillar. Jack in a full sleepwalk. Ernie in a stun as well. They're doing a good job here just being disruptive actually on the Shuffle Club. I mean, the comp on paper might not be better than the Red Hunter, but at least they play it better. Vigorista actually gets blinded here defensively. Going after Tony in a leg sweep. Big damage connecting there. Gil also dropping to 50% HP. He's going to be collateral damage. Asphyxiate onto Chun-Li. Tony looking for the sleepwalk. Kearney line of sight sit. Nice crackle here, hitting all members of the Shuffle Club. Chun-Li is still taking a lot of damage. He's got no evasion. He needs to be careful. No trinket as well. He gets out of there, just respecting the damage that's coming out here. Beal with a lot of pressure as well with that rapid fire.
Kidney takes a
full
sleep.
gouge, full kidney. And here comes the damage onto Beal. Beal gets rescued away though behind the pillar and should be able to recover. Maybe not. Double blinding sleet. Can they do it? Nice last wall coming out there from Beal, and he is going to be able to recover with that.
Yeah, I mean, Kearney does have the trinket, does have the cocoon, might have to use it shortly, but Guildbean should be okay to survive a little bit, is under a lot of fire right now. Smoke Bomb comes onto Vigorista. What can they do with that? IBF gets traded out immediately, just recognizing that and wanting to play safe. Kearney, you need to get out of there, man. BL is shooting you right now, but Tony Black, he's at 20% mana. He's not long for this world.
He's not long for this world. Kearney, though, has the life cocoon. Vigorista might just be sayonara in this position. Tony Black with a nice fake, though, onto the kick. Manages to recover him for a little bit. Fire breath coming out, disintegrates as well, trying to reverse the pressure. Full kill shot now onto Tony. Full cheap shot onto Vigorista. This could be the kill. Can they get the gouge? Zach is looking for it, but not able to find it there. Tony gets a dream breath, gets some healing out there onto Vigorista. Double dragon coming out, and now Beal is free casting in the backline, but Vigorista is going to fall, and the Shuffle Club is out of the tournament. Guildbean advancing with only playing the double Outlaw Rogue.
Oh man, I mean, I feel so bad for Vigorista in this game. I wasn't convinced with the Frost DK. I feel like the Frost DK was going to get sliced in half by the double Outlaw Rogue, and it kind of did, but they actually did show signs of life, and it's just so hard for Vigorista, man. He's just getting ran at. It's so hard to get any setups, especially against a Mistweaver Monk. What the Frost DK wants to do is grip the healer in onto a DPS, blinding sleep both DPS, and then set up a Frostworm setup with the Marks Hunter True Shot. The issue is, every time he grips Kearney in when he has blinding sleep, he just ports back there, and he just can't get anything going. And offensively, it makes it very, very difficult for the Shuffle Club if you can't get anything offensive going. And of course, on Guildbean's side, all you have to do is kidney the healer into an incap and right-click the poor Frost DK down.
Yeah, definitely rough here. But the Shuffle Club, they went out with a bang at least, and you love to see that. But Guildbean just compositionally favored. You know, they came prepared. They had their setup, and they denied all of those pops. And I personally can't think of anything worse than playing an MM Hunter into double Outlaw Rogue. Like, that just looks miserable.
Disarm.
Yeah. Evasion, feint, disarm. You're getting gouged. You're getting even defensive blinds. Like, there's always an answer for when you pop. Like, when you pop your True Shot, you have the most fun out of anyone in this game as a hunter. But when you get crowd controlled on your True Shot, it is brutal, man. It is brutal. Like, you see it in general when you pop like a big damage cooldown. Oh man, it is so frustrating. It's the same, you know, if you're like an arcane mage and you get your surge off, and then you're just getting spammed, like everyone is using their kicks and their gouges and the blinds, and they're just shutting you down. You get to have no fun whatsoever. Despite that, Build still did good damage in this game, you know, topping the damage leaderboard for his team. But yeah, I think a little bit of a counter comp coming out, and Guildbean just played too good for this one.
Yeah, and dealing with the double disarm as well. You know, it's not just BL and the Marks Hunter that has to deal with the dismantle, but also Vigorista on the Frost DK. Every time he pops, he's getting disarmed, and there's too many DRs from the Outlaw Rogue, and it's just such a complete spec, honestly, into that kind of comp. So, nice pick from Guildbean, nice adaptation. Don't really see class stacking in retail and AWC too often, but
yeah. I mean, that's my question. Like, I feel like we hardly ever see it. We saw double Devour Demon Hunter during the open brackets and double Havoc a long time ago. I think we've seen double Windwalker in the past, but it never like lasts. But it seems like Outlaw is becoming like a pick that we're seeing like more frequently than usual, Chan. I mean, what's going on with Outlaws? Like, why is this a comp that we're seeing all of a sudden?
Well, Outlaw Rogue did receive a little bit of a buff as well, but the damage profile, also just fits perfectly into PvP right now. I think high sustained damage with the capability to have some random bursts thrown in, plus all the control that a Rogue brings is just, it's almost like perfect for PvP.
Yeah. Do you think that Zigo, this is going to be something we're going to see from other, like, more teams start to adopt?
The double outlaw?
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, a lot of these comps, they look really good on paper, and then, you know, one team just figures out a counter comp.
Yeah.
And then that's it, you know, that's just the counter comp that everyone runs into it. Typically, in my experience, when you play something that requires a lot of class stacking, when you figure out the counter, usually the counter is a really, really hard counter, you know? So, yeah, we'll see. In the past, it's been, you know, Warrior, Red, things like that, just always win the cleave mirrors. But, yeah, it worked in this series. Could be, you know, a tool that other teams, you know, can pick up. And certainly in North America, right? In North America, this is already something that we're seeing. I mean, this is not something that Guildbean even invented, you know? This is something that we've seen. We saw it from Gators back. We've seen it in the open bracket from F tier. We've seen it now from Guildbean. Like, this is already starting to become NA meta. Yeah.
Yeah, got to be the best class stacking comp we've seen in a while. Should we make a name for it? You're good at that, Zico.
Ooh.
What's the opposite of a lawnmower? Because it, you know, you're calling Shuffle Club's comp
like a water sprinkler.
Water sprinkler comp. I don't know. Something. I don't know.
We'll let chat come up with something.
Yeah, give us your ideas,
and
chat.
then we'll pretend it was us.
Sure. Yeah, we can take full credit for them. But yeah, Direwolves going to be staying alive in the lower bracket. They are down there with, Guildbean, and they're down there with Direwolves. So we've got two teams alive in the lower bracket, both looking for an opponent. So Guildbean, Chan, is either going to face off against F tier or Welcome to the Jung, depending on how this next series goes. What's your take on that?
I think typically Warrior Red is like the biggest double melee counter. It's the king of double melee or cleaves. I don't know if Outlaw is in... I feel like Outlaw is so busted at the moment. I don't know if Warrior Red is even able to take down the double Outlaw. I know Welcome to the Jung can play that. On F tier's side, I'm not sure if they can. I know they have the Warrior. They have Meep who can multi-class, but I don't know if they have a Red there who is comfortable enough for that. But realistically, I'm expecting a Welcome to the Jung win against F tier, and it's going to be like Turbo or something against Double Outlaw. It's impossible to predict that. That's going to be a chaotic bloodbath.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're at that point in the day, Zico, with the North American bracket where like it's getting really hard to determine like how this is going to go, especially how well all of these teams are playing. We know that Gators back and Welcome to the Jung are very high up there in the standings, but it kind of seems like everybody, at least from the games we've seen so far, has really showed up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the last cup, right? This is team's final chance to qualify for Gauntlet, to potentially upset that third place position. And that is what most of these teams are gunning for. Like, there's like three different things happening right now with the standings. You have the race for first between the Gators and Welcome to the Jung. This is the cup where that will finally be decided, like which team is going to be the first seed. Then you also have the race for third, which is basically all the other teams are going for that. F tier right now is the team holding on to that position, but you know, we're gonna see them. We're gonna see what they can do, and hopefully they can hold on to that. Maybe they won't. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, Direwolves are gunning for it. They're looking really strong earlier when we saw them play. And then the last thing, of course, is teams playing for Gauntlet seeding, or for making it into the Gauntlet, or securing their Gauntlet. So this is still very much undecided territory, so everyone is giving it their best.
Definitely are, and we can't take a look at that bracket because we do have an update for the next series that we were supposed to play. Unfortunately, we do have a team dropping out, so we are going to have Gators back, have a 3-0 for sure. Smiley face, they are not able to play. So they will be moving forward in the upper bracket for the semifinals, and that means I believe that the next series that we're going to be playing instead is going to be that F tier versus Welcome to the Jung game. We can see what the bracket is shaping up to be like right now. So the winner of this next series will be playing against Gators back, and hopefully they're ready. They're not going to be able to get that warm-up game against Sherha Smiley Face. I'm disappointed we couldn't see that one. I was really excited to see how that one went in particular, but that will be our next series, F tier versus Welcome to the Jung, and then we can, of course, look at the standings and kind of where everything is right now. As Zico was mentioning, just a lot of important games going on right now. I mean, look how top-heavy it is. We've got Gators back at 300 points now, and Welcome to the Jung 260. They were tied in the beginning of the day. If they've got a star next to their name, that means that they are still in the tournament. They're still alive, and they still have a chance to get more points. That top 2 spot means that you automatically qualify for BlizzCon, and if you get fourth through 8th, you have to go to the Gauntlet, which no one wants to be in. So this competition is shaping up to be very, very tough here in North America. We're going to head to a break, give the teams a little bit of a time to adjust with the new schedule, and we will be right back with some more gameplay soon. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just now tuning in, a little bit of an update on our bracket. Gators Back did have a bye, as sure Smiley Face was not able to make that series. So now we are jumping forward to F tier versus Welcome to the Jung. Very big series here. Welcome to the Jung have a lot of points. F tier, they've got some themselves, of course, Super T's as well. Over the course of the season, how do you feel like F tier has been doing? Do you feel like they are able to take on Welcome to the Jung? Do they have a plan for Welcome to the Jung in your mind?
I think in Cup 1, it was like their best showing. They took Welcome to the Jung all the way to Game 5. It looked like they were very confident in the main specializations that they had prepared. But then in Cup 2, things got shaky. I don't know if things got emotional. They started just whipping out ults left and right and still getting smashed on it. So I don't know if they've gone back to the drawing board and just decided to work on their week 1 compositions or if they're fully committed to these new compositions. But I do know they have a secret weapon, a big red button, that they might need to push in a situation like this, but we will have to wait and see.
Are we allowed to spoil the big red button, or are we keeping it secret?
I'm not spoiling the big red button.
Okay, all right.
You'll know it when you see it.
I'll let you go last for predictions.
You will know it when you see it.
Okay, sorry.
Wait, what was going on here? I've gone first on every prediction. I was just selling out the last spot.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we may have made a deal that
We're
Super T's would
abusing our
take
power?
my keys if I let him go last for predictions. I'm sorry, but you play
happening
mage.
here?
What you mean nothing to me. I can't do anything with that. Super T's tanks.
I can make water.
Those are valuable these days. You can make me water. Thank you so much.
Yes.
As a melee player, I can really use that. All right, let's look at the predictions here for chat. Welcome to the Jung, 100% nearly right now on the side of chat. But Zico, in your mind, I mean, what chances does F tier have? Surely it's not the 4 to 0% that chat seems to be predicting.
I don't know. The chat is doing pretty well in the predictions right now. I mean, welcome to the Jung is just such a solid team, right?
You
But
dragging this out,
F-tier-
Zico? This is the easiest prediction
I think
ever.
he is a
Are we
little
really
bit
dragging
sick.
Yes,
this out?
I mean, but
he
she's
is.
not asking
He's
me
nervous.
for my prediction. She's asking
yet,
me
but I
what I
could.
think F tier could. Well, my prediction is 4-0. Welcome to the Jung. We can just get that out of the way already.
4-0.
We can just get
So good, they just get a free win, too.
7-0 against for Welcome to the Jung. But F tier, what I was going to say is that they actually put 7-0 as well.
99-0.
99-0.
It's probably as many numbers as you can put in that spot too.
Yeah, no, I think Welcome to the Jung is just the best. Okay, production 9990. But F tier, they have a lot of. They have the red button that will not be spoken of.
Nope.
They have LA Pharaoh. They have Turbo. They have Kitty Cleave. They have a lot of different options. So yeah, they just need to find one thing that works.
Tricky position to be in Tip D is when you've got so many compositions, you've got the big red button, whatever that is, but you're against a team like Welcome to the Jung and you're still being considered the underdog. And I feel like that just goes to show how strong Jung has been. We have seen that they can bleed. If we look at the standings, they are up there. They are very solidly in the top 2, which is where all of the teams are trying to get right now in terms of points. So this game might mean more to F tier, just if we look at just kind of where their placement is currently.
Well, yeah, they're trying to get into top 3. They want a safe and comfy position going into the grand finals. And if they could win here and then Direwolves is knocked out on the lower side, they're going to have some pretty smooth sailing, I think. But this first one is some rocky waters. This is not a smooth sailing series. This is going to be very challenging for them. I do wonder whether or not the big red button comes out in game 1 or if it's something they push after they try their main comps. We saw Sol on Rep Paladin a lot on week 2, but that didn't go so well for Arc. So I don't know if Rep Paladin isn't necessarily the move right now. I'm kind of thinking they're going to lead with their secret weapon in game 1, but then I wonder if Jung is aware that like so many teams are doing the secret red button and if they have plans for it, but seems like everybody's going in favor of Welcome to the Jung.
Yeah, what's yours? Real quick.
I don't want to be on the bottom of the predictions anymore.
Go with your heart.
This would be the wildest pick of all time, I think, if I actually did what I'm thinking right now. I'm not doing it. Welcome to the Jung 3-0.
Oh, I can't believe. Yeah, Welcome to the Jung 3-0.
Okay, good.
3-1. A 3-1. I think it could be 3-1. I think they could do this.
What is the thought behind the 1? What's the 1 comp?
I think I just feel bad. I don't know. I feel bad.
You just feel bad is what I said.
I feel bad predicting blowouts. I think they could get a game off of Welcome to the Jung. I really don't like predicting 3-0s, even though we do see quite a lot. We saw so many yesterday, of course, in the EU games. But enough of that. We're getting into the series here. It is game number 1, F tier versus Welcome to the Jung. We are in the upper bracket, and the game has started already. There it is. Is that it?
That's it.
That is it. That is the big red button. They pushed it in game 1. Double Outlaw Rogue here from F tier. Saul on an Outlaw Rogue. Dallas on an Outlaw Rogue. That's an Enhancement main and a Feral main. They're fighting Rogue, Mage, Mistweaver mains on the opposite side, and they are getting annihilated. They've already lost almost every major defensive cooldown, but they do get decent pressure on Nick here. But it was a surprise attack, but this is just F tier desperation. They're selling out to the S tier specs. If they get smoked on the S tier specs, then I don't know what else they can really do. But I mean, you might just die right now. A kidney shot on the healer. They pop out the revival to immune the polymorph. They're trying to get on target, but now they're blinded. Saul gets polymorph, but it's just going to break immediately. He gets Novid for a second. They're cutting him down. He's just not able to really connect. A counterspell on Meat Monk. Is it just a KO? He vanishes out of the fight. He's hiding in stealth. He gouges Jung Bahai from stealth. But now Dallas is left exposed in the middle of the field all by himself, dying to the Rogue and Mage of Welcome to the Jung. A gouge now onto Meep. The pressure is not going down. Nick gets a Ray of Frost. Saul could fall at any moment and will. And the big red button is an absolute disaster. That is not going to work.
Yeah, I don't know about this. This was just like from the moment we zoned in, we saw the comps, we saw what was happening, and this did not look convincing whatsoever. I mean, F tier had no pressure. They got that one life cocoon, to be fair. They did force one life cocoon, but outside of that, they had no pressure whatsoever. I mean, it was just running, dying through Vanish, dying through everything. And yeah, I mean, we can see it here on the replay. Drake is just all over them. And Saul here forced to use the Vanish, pops the Crimson Vial, and then he gets pulled out. And it's just every single one of these replays is just Saul running for the hills. They just got perma CC. Look at that. Gouge into kidney. Look at that beautiful CC chain. I mean, welcome to the Jung came to play. You see that ending there? They get the gouge into the kidney, into the leg sweep on the trinket, into the 1 second Song of GG, into the KO. I mean, that was beautiful. Welcome to the Jung. I mean, this is why they're such a feared team. And yeah, I don't think the big red cheese is gonna work in this case.
Big red. I think we found the answer for Double Outlaw. It's a Frost Mage. I just feel like the snares, the lockdown, eventually you get a stun and array, and you can just KO a rogue. So seems to be the most important component to have, at least in North America, being that there are multiple Outlaw rogues. But I don't think they can run a Mistweaver either in this type of situation. He's just so exposed to crowd control from the Mage. And once these rogues get rooted and they're snared and they're dead and can't move, they just can't help out Meep at all as far as getting momentum. So Nick was more than prepared for this. Welcome to the Jung, more than prepared. They're still running similar meta compositions to what they did from Cup 1 and Cup 2 despite the changes. So Jung Bahai is not running the Druid that we've seen a lot of from Europe. You just get that Paralyze and that Song of Chi-Ji for extra crowd control. And maybe it's just a bit of comfort on his side, as well as the port and stun. So if he gets targeted down, maybe he wants to make sure that he's not going to be a liability. So it's probably what he's most warmed up on. And I can see it having some strengths here in this matchup as well. But I think F tier need to, this is not going to work. They're not cheesing their way through here in game number 1 by any means. So if that doesn't work, and they have to go back to the drawing board, they don't really have good... Ellie Feral, I think, is their only comp, because if they run anything else, it's just Melee Cleave and a Frost Mage is auto loss, I think. And there it is.
Okay. Yep. So F tier just shuffling through the deck here, showing what they have. They start with the red. I feel like starting with the big red button is commendable. Just try to get a surprise attack in game number 1, but welcome to the Jung's Rogue Mage is just looking better and better and better each and every single time we see them play. So I really feel like this is such a scary roster to look at. And yeah, we'll see here, F tier, if this second composition is going to work out for them. They did play a fair amount of Ellie Feral before. And if that doesn't work, it's gonna have to be a Laros angle, probably just bringing in a Feral Warrior or something. Seen them try that in the past to various amount of success, but yeah, I don't know. Welcome to the Jung. This is why I said 7-0. You know, this is why I said 99-0. They just look like a well-oiled machine. Jung Bahai is just on point. He is just so good at basically everything that you have to do as a healer. Pushing in, being offensive, coordinating and never overlapping with his teammates, landing the crowd control, just doing everything that needs to be done. And Nick is really shining on the mage too. And Drake is just that man. He's just that guy. Plays any melee. Plays Windwalker. Plays Feral Druid. We've seen him on basically every single melee that the game has to offer. Warrior, Rogue, of course, as well. Assassination Rogue. They had that season where all they did was just play Assassination Rogue and just dominate everyone with that. So Drake is just very, very adaptable when it comes to being a melee player. So it's just such a strong roster. Have we even seen them use Prev yet?
Yeah, I know. He used to be the rep paladin, but now I think they even subbed him out for Drake. Prev is just waiting for the next patch, okay? Warlock buffs, Shadow Priest buffs. Like, he's the backup in case something goes wrong later in the meta. So
imagine that being your backup.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like that's as long as he's keeping those specs polished, you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like Mercy, right? Like, Mercy is just kind of chilling at the moment, waiting for the Warlock changes, I think, as well. Although at tournament level, I'm not sure if Affliction is enough. Maybe it will be. We'll kind of have to wait and see. But right now, it seems like they've just got Drake as melee only. I'm trying to think of a combination where they wouldn't have that. Maybe Nick has been spending all of his time on mage, because obviously if you're going to play in a rogue mage meta, you want to be the absolute best at it. So maybe it's better to have him specialize, be the best mage that he can be, and then Prev can be the multi-classer in case the meta changes later. The roster's built well for any sort of meta in this regard. Now, Saul are running this Ellie Feral. They're the only team playing this. They have beaten rogue mages. They beat Hansel's team in the upper side here in order to get to this position. However, I think the Mistweaver has a bit more longevity than the Holy Priest. I think the Outlaw Rogue is a little bit more terrifying for the Elemental Shaman than the Subtlety Rogue. So we will have to see if F tier can manage to accomplish this, but now they're on their mains at least, and I think it's going to be a lot closer of a match than what we just saw as far as that blowout.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. F tier now bringing in their mains here for game number 2. Welcome to the Jung, looking to advance here in the upper bracket for El Clasico against the Gators. But already we're seeing Saul just blasting off, actually, doing a lot of damage here onto Nick. Nick is getting pressured in the opener. It's not looking too bad here for F tier. Jung Bahai caught up in a leg sweep. And doesn't look like they're going to get too much work done with that. Drake now starting to get an insane amount of pressure here over onto Saul. There's a kidney shot onto Meat Monk. And Saul already having to run away in this position to get the full polymorph out of the kidney shot onto Meat Monk. And Saul having to trade the Astral Shift. Song of Chi-Ji to follow it up. Overlap though with the blind. Actually, Meat Monk just going to sit through all of that since Saul used that Astral Shift. So they don't panic on the side of F tier as well defensively. Meat Monk still has a lot of healing to do though. Nick does not have a counter spell. So Meat Monk should be able to keep him alive in this position, but actually has to commit the Life Cocoon as well. The damage is just crazy coming out from Welcome to the Jung.
I think it's fine as long as Drake hasn't used his preparation yet. But if he gets a reset on his Adrenaline Rush, it could be very dicey for Saul in the next couple of seconds. They get a stun on Jung Bahai with the Feral Druid Dallas. Are they going to get chained that into anything? They knock Jung Bahai around the corner. Not going to be enough, though, I think. Maybe the leg sweep. Nice. They get Revival pulled by Jung Bahai. A lot more evenly matched as far as offense here. They're way more comfortable on these specializations. However, Kidney Shot, Ray of Frost is a scary combo, but Saul pre-Ghost Wolves. And I believe that he's running talent so that it stacks damage reduction over time in Ghost Wolf. It's like going into bear form before being stunned. Similarly, Nick has to block. I mean, this looks really good right now for them. I wonder what they were worried about playing Feral Ellie in the first game. Maybe there's like a counter that Welcome to the Jung has, because in the open bracket there, Feral Ellie actually looked good into the Rogue Mages as well. Dallas does get caught out of form here in a cheap shot, but he's got Bark Skin, so he should be fine. Jung Bahai and a Paralyzed. They're pushing forward on Nick. I like the purges from the Ellie Shaman as well to try and time on these barriers and these alter times. It gives them a little bit of an edge. When a mage doesn't have to worry about purge at all, it's just so easy to be able to survive. But if you just get purged right at the wrong second, you can just immediately die. Drake is now getting cleaved down. They wait for Nick to alter back. Good pressure on 2 targets right now. I think this is the most we've seen Jung really sweat in this series.
Yeah, and we can see Saul finally recovering there once again. Nick could be in trouble. Ray of Frost with the precognition. Getting decent work. Dallas still keeping up the pressure. Looking for Cyclone. Gets kicked there by Drake. And you can tell they are actually really struggling on the side of Welcome to the Jung here. Life Cocoon is going to be committed there by Jung Bahai, and then he immediately goes for offense. Goes for the paralyzed double leg sweep into the Song of GG. Jung Bahai, beautiful play right there. He actually canceled his song, realizing that Sol was actually in leg sweep range, and then he went for a double sweep instead into the song. Really, really nice offensive plays there from Jung Bahai, and this is what makes him such a great healer as well. As soon as he commits that Life Cocoon, he immediately goes for offense because he wants to be able to use it offensively and defensively in that position to maximize the value. And now they get a sheep onto Meat Monk. They get a full blind as well. Sol running for the hills. Ray of Frost is connected here, doing a lot of work. Meat Monk forced to trade out the trinket and the Life Cocoon there. So Welcome to the Jung, finally finding themselves a nice big cooldown there. Meat Monk could be a target later on, maybe if he overextends out of port range, but I don't think so. I think they're just going to continue this pain train here over onto Sol. But look at Nick. He is forced into the ice block. Dallas on the back end doing a lot of work here. Jung Bahai a bit ahead on the man. He gets swapped to as well.
Oh, big
swap here onto Jung Bahai. They might just take him down. Restart coming out. And F tier coming in clutch here in game number 2. Dallas, fresh off the bench, makes the plays. Forces the ice block basically solo, and then immediately goes for the stun swap on Jung Bahai.
Were they just in their heads? Were they just thinking like Double Outlaw is so good, we're gonna win no matter what? It's easy button. We're just gonna do that. Let's do it in game 1. They get absolutely destroyed, and they're like, okay, I guess that's not the free win button. Let's go on Ellie Farrell, which looked like the free win button. Like, Welcome to the Jung doesn't get beaten down like this normally. I don't think I've ever seen a game where Jung Bahai dies this early in a game. Like this was a very, usually the games, if they do lose, it's like brutal. You're just sweating, drenched. You've been dragged into deep depths of dampening, but they actually snipe out Jung Bahai in the early game, 3.5 minutes in here, and they were leading on, a significant amount of fronts, aside from potentially the scary moments in the opener on Sol. But I think that's mostly allocated to the adrenaline rush from the Outlaw Rogue. That's where most of their burst comes from the cloud cover on their Trickster PvP talent, which just adds a bunch of damage during adrenaline rush, like we see right here with adrenaline rush glowing. It gets Life Cocoon and Trinket. That's the scary moment for Outlaw. Everybody talks about the sustained damage being really high, but I think particularly the adrenaline rush, and because they can preparation and reset it, right? Imagine a Fire Mage could press a reset button on Combust back to back. It would be an extremely terrifying situation. So that's why it looked scary for them at the start of the game, but then they survived that adrenaline rush, prep adrenaline rush, and it slowed down. And then when it slowed down, F tier started taking control and command of the game. They got through 2 ice blocks, and then they punished the trinket from Jung Bahai with the swap. So they look comfortable with this composition, and it looks durable. The real question is whether Welcome to the Jung just have a different comp, maybe, because I actually think this Feral Ellie has looked really good pretty much into every rogue mage I've seen them play it into. It's any variation of it, it's actually looked like a respectable answer for it. But Welcome to the Jung have a bunch of other comps, like maybe some cleaves or something that wouldn't be so easy for F tier to be able to deal with.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, Welcome to the Jung, I feel like usually they just play one comp and they just stick to it, but we have seen them run other things as well. We've seen them run some ret based comps, so that could be an answer. I mean, last time these two teams faced, I believe it was a Cleave Mirror with Red Paladins, so maybe that's something that they want to run, like Red Warrior. Yeah, I don't know. Welcome to the Jung have all the answers. Yeah, with this map pick, I feel like we're just gonna see the same matchup again. I think it's going to be the exact same matchup here. Unless F tier doesn't pick the LA Feral.
Well, then we'll know they're afraid of
something.
Yeah,
then we know there's
for
something.
Sure know, because that was their best game, I think, of the season into Welcome to the Jung. Like, what? They beat them in 3.5 minutes. They traded evenly. There was no overlaps. They had really good pressure throughout. Like, that was their best game of the entire season. Maybe the entire time they've ever played against Welcome to the Jung. Like, that was their best game of all time. If they don't play the same comp, there has to be some secret weapon that Welcome to the Jung have that just completely annihilates it, because that was so good for them. They're taking their time, taking their sweet time. Yeah, they're afraid of something, man. They're afraid of something. What are they afraid of? That they lock Double Outlaw in at this point. And just look at Welcome to the Jung. Like, they've got Rogue Mage, Windwalker Mage, and Ret Warrior. Maybe it's the Ret Warrior win rate that they're really worried about in this type of situation, because yeah, that was their best game ever. So this is heads up by Welcome to the Jung. They're like, we know, we have this, so we're picking the map that benefits Rogue Mage, because we know you're not going to lock. We're calling your bluff that you're not going to Ellie Feral, right? Because Ellie Feral would probably like this map, but they're calling the bluff that they're not going to put it in. So F tier are definitely terrified of something. that Welcome to the Jung have lurking, because that makes no sense to me for them to not play Feral Ellie again with how good that looked and how terrible the double outlaw looked. Does Feral Ellie really look that bad into the other comp that you want to relive game 1 again?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes no sense. To me, whatever answer Welcome to the Jung has to be so devastating for the Ellie Feral that double Rogue into Rogue Mage is a higher win percentage. And that did not look like it had a high win percentage in that game number 1. But to be fair, that game number 1 was just really well played also by Welcome to the Jung. They had a counterspell into a kidney shot, into a gouge, into a leg sweep on the trinket, Song of GG, Touch of Death. So, I mean, they had like a perfect CC chain, perfect punish. And maybe it could be played better. Like, maybe they just feel like, okay, we really played that poorly, which can definitely be the case. Dude, Saul is running the double fish weapons.
It's because Solvish is his rogue's name, I think. He's transmog the fish, like Calvish. He thinks it's the fish. He's wearing the vishes, dual-wielding vishes. And he's got the, like, mad scientist orc haircut going on.
Last time he was swimming with the fishes, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's going to be swimming with the fishes again here. I mean, he's just packing some snacks for the tomb. Like, I don't know. I don't know why you would pick on this map. Like, really? You think that double outlaw into Frost Mage Rogue on Tolvaron Arena? You couldn't hit Nick on Nagrand, bro. You're not hitting him on Tol. This is a brutal pick, in my opinion, from F2. I do not like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan either, but it's got to be. I mean, that's the thing, right? A lot of these players, they have, war game experience against each other, and they just know, like, this is our answer. So something has happened in war game that has scarred F tier from picking this comp. We won't know what it is until we see it. So we're just gonna have to
there's some deep trauma wound in there. I don't like. I cannot believe they want to play double outlaw again, man. Like, they lost it like a minute and they got a life cocoon. Like, okay, great. It's like you got literally nothing on a much more favorable map than this. This is a terrible map, and Meep's still a Mistweaver too. There's no like weird. He's not a druid or something, that could help avoid polys on his own. Like, he's still locked in on the Mistweaver. I think they're gonna get embarrassingly destroyed right now. I think this might be the worst defeat in a game we've seen this season.
Oh my god, that is a bold prediction. I actually don't agree with that. I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
Completely annihilated.
I think they're gonna lose with grace.
With grace, they don't. Graceful double outlaw pick, shameless double outlaw pick.
I actually don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think what we saw in game number 1 is a lot worse than how the comp is actually supposed to be played. That's what I think. So, I believe. But I also feel like anytime you have a winning, maybe this is wrong mindset, but I feel like if you have a winning strategy against Welcome to the Jung, you pick it until they literally force you off. Like, maybe in war games you lost with it. Maybe it was different. But this is a different setting. You play it until you cannot play it, until you know for a fact that you cannot play it. So, yeah, that's what I think. But this is kind of still, early in the series. They could experiment with this game and fall back on it later. So we'll see. I'm also excited to see what Welcome to the Jung does on their blind pick. Like, if F tier wins this also, like, this is starting to heat up. I thought this was going to be a stomp. I'm not going to lie. But F tier really showing that they came to play. And for them, they just lost their third place spot. So they have to win this, or at least win when they drop to the lower bracket. But they would much rather win right now. Anyway, the game has started. It is game number 3 between F tier and Welcome to the Jung.
All right, they're grappling, hooking over after the mage, and Drake is there to peel with the disarms, with the cheap shots. They're getting uptime now, though. Ice Barrier, Life Cocoon. I think it's fair for the Adrenaline Rush. This is the scary window. Nick just needs to avoid damage, and the double stun, Blink Ray. That's like almost a KO every time that Nick is able to get that combo, and it's a very easy combo to pull off with how they're playing. Although there's a decent amount of damage on Nick, they recover. Saul falls behind. Drake has used preparation. He's got another adrenaline rush ready to go. And now they swap to Dallas, who doesn't have evasion. He's already blown through it. Life Cocoon's on Saul. They kidney shot the healer. They're setting up for the win this early on. Are they going to get a revival off this stun? They don't manage to force a revival, which is fortunate for me. Trinket's blind. Paralyzes. They blind Jung behind. They might get a block, which is certainly an improvement from game number 1. Saul grapples over, but he grapples into a ring. Heroic pose on the Ring of Frost. Nick's trying to fake a kick. He fakes Saul. He's spamming polymorphs. Not able to find it just yet. Looks like it might have been immune. And now we see Dallas grappling over. Trying to get momentum on the mage. Double Frost Nova. Blink Ray probably if a stun comes through here. Ray of Frost on Saul. No cloak. Sleep on 2. That's a double. And Saul will be a not. He smoke bombs at 1%. Grapples out. Drake gets gouged. Another Ray of Frost. He hooks over. He kicks it. He's on 10%. His healer is still in crowd control. Into a kidney shot. Still locked down at 1%. And ultimately gets cut through. I don't know if it was as bad as I was highlighting it to be, but like it's up there, okay? Like it's up there. Not a 10 out of 10 worst game of all time, but like a 6.5 probably or something. Like it's definitely up there. There's no way that can be better for them than whatever they're afraid of. Because they're afraid of something. They don't want to blind lock the Ellie Farrell.
You know what, Super Tease? I think you might be right. That was brutal. For the last minute of that game, Saul was just running, dying. I mean, look at his meat monk. He's stuck in a sleepwalk. He's trying to sit through it. Saul has the defensive bomb. I don't think... I mean, if you will that, it's really bad later, but since you didn't, look at his pressure. He just gets caught up in infinite CC there. Leg sweep, kidney shot, dragon's breath. I mean, Welcome to the Jung just knows how to deal with this double outlaw. The red button is just... it's just a normal button, you know? So get rid of it, and I think I guess we're gonna have to find out
need to hit
if
the eject
F-tier
button.
wins.
Not the big red button.
Yeah, we're definitely crashing here with the double outlaw stonks, but I think yeah, I kind of, you know what I want to happen? I want F-tier to win the next series, and then pick the Ellie Farrell in game number 5. I want them to win the next game, and then pick Ellie Farrell in game number 5, because then at least we get to see the scary boogeyman.
What they're afraid of, they can't. It looks worse than this.
Exactly.
Like, my God.
The curiosity is killing me. Like, what is it?
I need to know what you're afraid of. What are you afraid of, FT, right now that you're willing to do this matchup instead of doing the Ellie Farrell? Because they're so clean on it. It's just their mains. They've practiced it. It looks polished. It looks well in the matchup, at least with the Rogue Mage. But it must just be so abysmally bad and just something for them to want to blind lock this year, especially on Tolveron Arena. Incredibly challenging map to be able to overcome this, and Welcome to the JUNG are going to easily dispense it. And now they move to match point, and Welcome to the JUNG, they want that head-on collision. They want to get number 1 seed in North America, and they're trying to take that crown back from Gators from Cup 2 here, because it's been back and forth with these teams in the North American region, and they look strong on this Rogue Mage. So if Gators are relying on any double outlaw shenanigans, because I think they played it as well at some point, I think they're probably not going to be after watching this. I don't think the double outlaw is going to cut it here for Welcome to the JUNG. The pirate ship is sinking. It's time to abandon ship at this point for F tier. And they've got the big map. They've got the Rogue Mage. If they don't lock Ellie Farrell here, then I don't know what's going on. I don't even...
Oh, they for sure will lock it here. They're probably just talking strategy here. I mean, they won with it. Not locking it would be crazy. So let's assume that they're going to lock it. They have been picking the big maps too. So both teams kind of opting for that. So I don't know. Maybe it will come down to some kind of melee cleave from F tier. Like, could it be the Ret Warrior that they are afraid of?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be some type of melee cleave for sure. It has to be what they're worried about, because those are the only comps we've seen Welcome to the JUNG. Unless they have a big red button, can they double outlaw?
It's just a weekend of big red buttons.
Just the double, the outlaw button, the pirate button.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see the same thing. So I don't know. I feel like Welcome to the JUNG did drop the ball a little bit in a second game, dying that early, not really forcing too much. Maybe they need to punish Dallas more on the Feral Druid, because I feel like that Feral Druid was doing a lot. He was getting ice blocks from Nick. He was setting up swaps on Jungbahai. He was forcing interrupts on himself with the Cyclones. Like, he was getting a lot of room to breathe. So maybe targeting him a little bit more instead of the Ellie Shaman could be a lineup play for Welcome to the Jung. Because I feel like they had good CC, like they had good, polys were landing on Meat Monk. They were landing crowd control, and they were, chaining the CC onto Sol. I just feel like LA Shamans in general is kind of one of those targets that you need to, you need a little bit of dampening usually, take him down. You need like continuous CC chains happening over and over and over and over again, because they have so many cooldowns they can rotate. And usually it takes a little bit of dampening to force some of those cooldowns kind of outside your own offensive cooldown window. And that's when you can kind of snowball the game into a win as the Rogue Mage. So maybe it's just a defensive issue from Welcome to the Jung and the target is fine. Or maybe they just need to hit Dallas a little bit more, like pre-dampening.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue Mage is a comp that I think excels in either environment, pre-dampening, post-dampening. It's well-rounded. It deals with any situation at the moment here. So obviously, Welcome to the Jung dying in 3.5 minutes is very uncharacteristic in that game number 2. So they're going to be looking to position likely further apart from each other so that they're not stacking up for the Feral Druid cross stuns on multiple targets. I think that is going to be a positional change on their part. Maybe they're going to respect F tier a little bit more, not play as aggressively, and just focus on surviving, stunning Feral, Ray of Frost him around a corner, Polymorph Ellie maybe, and then switch around a little bit more than they did in the previous game. To be fair, Ellie Feral is not a common composition. Like, this is F tier are the only team that play this. So Welcome to the Jung are likely limited on practice in this matchup as far as like what's the ideal target at what time frame. Pre-dampening, maybe Shaman's not good, then post-dampening he becomes a better target, like similarly to how Warlocks have worked in the past as far as their survivability, because they have a lot of self-healing, especially when they get low health. They get an auto heal that triggers and it boosts them back. It's like a lay on hands almost sometimes with how much healing it has. And I feel like Sol got a lot of really good Ghost Wolves as well, where he was timing, he was playing the Spirit Wolf talent towards the top of the Shaman tree, and that just stacks up some damage reduction. So if he gets into Ghost Wolf on that, you got a lot of stamina, you got a lot of passive damage reduction throughout your talents as well. Throughout the healing stream totem, just throughout the baseline talents, you can be very durable, almost like a second healer when you have a lot of your personal defensives active. So that's why we see Sol able to survive in a lot of the situations that some other specs can't against the Rogue Mage here, which is why they're running it here. And it's just a lot of consistent damage over time, bleeds, flame shocks, lava bursts. They just can keep up their sustained momentum on multiple targets and then capitalize on the Feral Druid stuns when they present themselves. And then Meep kind of just hangs out in the back and keeps everybody as safe as possible. It's like those old school Talbadar triple healer comps that you like to play in competitions where the hybrids are just focused on supporting, off healing, keeping the game going as long as possible, and kind of winning on attrition. Although I think in modern WoW, Welcome to the Jung with Rogue Mage, they can still win the late game too if they make it to that point.
Absolutely. Let's see if they can make it to that point. Welcome to the Jung versus F tier. And right now, Welcome to the Jung looking to knock F tier down to the lower bracket here, where they're going to have to fight for their lives, because F tier right now is not feeling too confident against the Dire Wolves down there with their own Rogue Mage, and also with the standings. They are each other's kind of direct competition at this point. I'll keep you updated on that throughout the day and throughout the weekend. But opener coming out here onto Nick. He's going to blink away from that stun. Now Drake also getting stunned. Big damage onto Nick. Immediate kind of unleash coming out from Sol here. Huge pressure. Nick is just trying to line of sight. And there it is. They're going to go after Dallas a lot more in the matchup. And I like this adaptation from Welcome to the Jung. Dallas is just getting too much work done in that last game. And stunning him when he's overextended like this and actually pressuring him, I think is a great choice. They got the bark skin there. They can get some crowd control into Meep. That could be an opening for them later on.
Yeah, the advantage of going the Feral Druid is that you're trying to pressure them into bear form, which means that they can't spend combo points in cat and apply bleeds to targets, so it limits their damage. So right now we see Dallas in bear form trying to get to a target. He interrupts the healer. He's still playing with confidence, even on match point right now, and being, the threat of going to the lower bracket and having to battle out for your third place position, which auto qualifies you to the finals. He's trying to make moves. They break through the life cocoon. They're really pressuring him. They're putting counter spells on Sol, denying him likely, I think, of a Hex or Stormkeeper there. Polymorph as well. This is working a lot better. Polymorph can control the Shaman. Kidney Shot can force the Feral into bear form, and they can kind of just stagger the game out into the late game. Disadvantage with this is that Saul will get to free cast, although he's an Ellie. You know, an Ellie free casting is not probably the least threatening caster out there. Maybe he should adapt his build to like a Tempest build if this ends up, you know, evolving at all. But Dallas is in so much trouble right now. A Paralyze and a Polymorph, and welcome to the JUNG. It looks like they've solved the matchup as far as momentum at this point. Dallas does get a nice bear form there on the stun, enabling him to reduce a lot of damage and survive. He gets a Shadow Melt stun here, an Incarn stun actually. He's getting stuns on everybody. He's still playing with confidence, even despite being on match point. He's tearing in and he gets an Ice Block. He gets an Overlap. This is very uncharacteristic of Welcome to the JUNG. We see them lose in 3.5 minutes. Now they're overlapping their defensive cooldowns. It's this type of scenario that F tier 100% need to capitalize on if they're going to be able to defeat them.
Yeah, exactly. And Dallas now not getting as much work done as well as a result of all of this. Nick actually getting swapped to Dallas, looking to get his bleeds. And look at Drake, he's just all over him. I really like this adaptation. Just try to crowd control. Big swap here on the Jung Bahai actually. Hold that thought for a second. Jung Bahai is able to deal with it. That's a nice Ring of Peace. It's so satisfying to see that. It's very, very annoying because you can't cast anything. You just have forced to kind of spam instants in that position, but Meek Monk is caught up in a full sheep. Here comes the Glacial Spike. Big damage coming out onto Dallas. Nice wind shear there by Saul. Keeper. Saul fakes the interrupt. Saul is going to pop off here. Big damage onto Nick. He realizes the situation, but Jung Bahai is there to deflect some of that with the healing, and Nick is going to be able to just kite away, running away from Dallas. Drake is all over him, but they're leaving Saul open, and Saul is dealing devastation. And Dallas is still top damage, so mana could become an issue. They're swapping to Jung Bahai once again on the side of F tier, but Jung Bahai is ready and deflects it with ease. Nick gets a precognition, looking for the sheeps here. Meep Monk is trying to avoid it. There it is. Sheep is going to connect there onto Meep Monk, but they can't really do too much with it. Dallas just playing defensive in this position. Defensive Hex coming out from Saul. F tier with good defense.
I mean, if Dallas can keep up this damage and Saul can keep up this damage, they're going to win. They just kill him, no block? What is going on with Welcome to the JUNG in this matchup? This is not the Welcome to the JUNG that we have known for years and years in the AWC. Just massive blunders back to back right now. Dallas is farming. F tier looks so good on this. And if they pick double Outlaw Rogue instead of this, they have explaining to do. We need to interview them, even if they lose. We need to interview them to ask why did they not want to play Ellie Farrell in Welcome to the JUNG when they're farming them. They beat them in less than 4 minutes. Nobody beats Welcome to the JUNG in less than 4 minutes. 2 times, like 2 times. Nobody does that. Welcome to the JUNG is a team that just drags your soul out of you with long matches if you ever even have a chance. They either dispatch you really quickly or they just drag the fight on until you have no more will to play anymore, basically. And they can't do it. They can't do it. It's 2 games now, less than 4 minutes, against F tier's Elemental Shaman Feral Druid, the only team playing it in the competition. Dallas looks good on it. Saul's backing him up. Meep is getting good crowd control. And they're just blasting. There's Earth Shocks just coming through and just cracking damage. Great pre-bear forms throughout this. They went completely unfazed despite Welcome to the JUNG's adaptation to go after the Feral Druid in the matchup, which appeared to be the right choice, but they just couldn't hold Dallas back. He's still just top of the damage meter despite getting trained. So it's really well done from Dallas in this position, and like every team has been playing the Pirates this weekend. So if a Feral Druid somehow manages to sneak its way through, despite I think every team in Europe being an Outlaw Rogue or Pirate, and I think potentially North America could too as well, with what's down in the lower bracket, Dallas is like the last Feral left. He's battling to try and qualify for 3rd place in a pirate world. He just wants to be a cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Well, actually, everybody wants to be a pirate right now, but Dallas is trying to be the only cat, and maybe he can do it. But maybe the cat's going to be out of the bag here in Game 5, because Welcome to the JUNG obviously have some threat that F tier don't want to lock this comp in.
I'm excited to see what it is. I just want to see what it is. This is not how I expected this series to go. I will be honest. I was wrong, regardless of how it plays out in the Game 5. I thought this was going to be a done deal with how good Welcome to the JUNG looked last time. Just completely dominating the entire competition. But F tier did their homework, and they've got some solid, convincing wins here with this comp. But we are going to Maldraxxus Coliseum, which makes me think maybe it's not Red Warrior. I feel like, do you want Red Warrior on this map? F tier has...
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You want to cleave on this big map. For sure you want to cleave on the big map. You have to do Ellie Farrell, though. If you do double Outlaw here, this is the worst decision they've ever made. If they do double Outlaw right now, this is the worst decision they've ever made. This has to be setting up for Ellie Farrell into some type of cleave. or into Rogue Mage too, because it's probably still okay into Rogue Mage on the big map. If they
just
pick
lost on a
double
big
outlaw,
map.
I'm about to just like, if my standing desk wasn't so heavy, I would flip it if they pick double outlaw, because it makes absolutely no sense after watching that play out to do it. There's no way. I can't see Ellie Farrell doing worse into Ret Warrior or something than what I've just seen from double outlaw. Like, it's all this like cloaking polymorphs to try and kill the mage early and then just dying 2 seconds later. Like, no, please. There's no way this. Maybe it is the right choice if they get more practice on it and more reps on it, but with their current performance, there can be no way. Okay, good. Now we get to see. Now the curiosity, which killed the cat, ironically. Curiosity killed the cat, ironically, with Dallas on a Feral Druid, because maybe this is going to kill him here. What is it that Welcome to the Jung had? If they lock in Rogue Mage, F tier were trolling. I straight up think they were trolling. If Welcome to the Jung lock Rogue Mage in right now, F tier were trolling. It has to be that they're worried about some warrior maybe, or some, like, it has to be some type of cleave that they're concerned about, because if it's be so troll if Welcome to the Jung picks Rogue Mage again, because maybe F tier could have just been done with the series. Who knows? Yeah. They're taking their time here to think about it maybe, and trying to prep themselves if maybe they really feel like they're just playing badly and they can win as Rogue Mage and they shouldn't change. Or if they are going to be
stomped twice.
There it is.
There
okay,
it is.
This is what they must have been afraid of, was the Ret Warrior. And the Ret Warrior does have a 100% win rate for Welcome to the Jung on their stat screen. So this could be very frightening. But it's a large map. They've given themselves as much of an advantage that they can in this type of matchup in order to deal with this. And they're only 1 game away from being in a really good spot to lock in a 3rd place. Like, can you imagine Welcome to the Jung in the lower bracket? Do they fight Direwolves? I don't know if the bracket looks like that or not.
Actually, not sure.
It does, okay, so it doesn't look like that right now. But imagine being able to send Welcome to the Jung down there if it was to eliminate Direwolves and you get 3rd place. Like, you would be so happy to be able to do that, which it could still happen later in the bracket as well.
I mean, either way, they eliminated Guild Bean, which I think technically, if they win the entire thing, could still overtake them. So either way, it's great for F tier
right now.
I don't think they're that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're probably more worried, but still, either way, it's great position for F tier to be in. Like, just having Welcome to the Jung down there to just vacuum up the points down there while you're just waiting up top. That's a great position for sure. You're just chilling, qualifying for Championship Sunday. F tier really wants this, but the same thing is true for Welcome to the Jung, right? Because Cubsy's waiting. It's the race to first. The Gators are looking solid.
I mean, if Jung lose here, this is actually insane, especially with how weird this series has been. This has been not the series that you would expect between teams like this. You would expect like 10-minute plus games, super sweat, back and forth. We just get some Mimi double outlaw instant losses, and then Welcome to the Jung are choking a bit. Now they're moving over onto Ret Warrior. Dallas has been the MVP, I think, for the team right now in this Feral Druid. And can he do it? Can he get one more win? Can they beat the Kryptonite that they were so terrified to fight that they locked double outlaw a 2nd time to get owned in less than 2 minutes? So this is going to be tough for him. It's going to be a tough matchup. It's a lot of damage coming through, a lot of burst damage. And they have a lot of support as well with the Sanctuary to get their Mystery Route of crowd control. So it's a good map. Maybe they can do it. This could be F tier's day. It would be remarkable for them to be able to pull this off right now with how grim it's looked throughout the season. But at the same time, Welcome to the Jung look shaky today. They look like there's holes in their strategies. They're not looking as polished as they normally are. So when you sense weakness like this as F tier, you go mains, you full send with experience, and you try and take advantage of that, because we're 5 seconds away from not going back. Can F tier win this and more likely secure their top 3 position and just qualify to the North American Grand Finals? We will find out. Stormkeeper is already loaded up. Saul is ready to launch Lightning. It was a weird alliteration right there. Dallas stunned up. Drake stunned up. Moving in. Getting crowd control right away. Dallas is just going for Jung Bahai. Once again, Dallas just has so much confidence in this matchup. Very few teams would put this type of pressure on Jung Bahai this early on. He's interrupting him, getting bleeds up, and then avoiding cleave damage. Looking for Cyclones. He gets one here on Drake, denying that initial burst damage. He swaps back to Nick, but he's met with a Storm Bolt. He gets back into cat form, trying to get bleeds up. And they might swap to him. He's got to be a bit careful. He drops a Vortex and he repositions, kiting them in cat form with that mobility. But a double leg sweep locks down Meep and Sol. Dallas goes for the healer. He's just on Zhang Bahai's throat, just trying to keep pressure on that Mistweaver constantly. Now Meep is rolling towards Zhang Bahai. Curious to see if he goes for something. He is right now. Paralyzed. No song. They get a Hex instead, but it does DR with the Paralyze, so it's not going to last too long. Zhang Bahai is now free of crowd control. Nick is into a Cyclone. Dallas is getting really good control of this. It's really the Avenging Wrath from the Ret Paladin. I want to see some Cyclones on. And then the Demolishes as well. This is the scary window. Sol jumps away from it. Getting some distance. Map's working out. Incap Roar on the team. Bear form to take the physical damage. Now he's getting bleeds back up. And this is likely going to be a mana game because we can see both Mistweavers actually playing Gnome, which is usually, you know, melee DPS play that to get out of the roots and get more uptime. But healers can play it for more mana, which is definitely, they expect this game to go for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a slugfest here. Nick is going to connect onto Sol, but Sol doing a good job kiting. Meep Monk with the leg sweep there. And the name of the game for F tier is just to limit Nick's uptime. Ursol's Vortex gets dropped down there as well. And they're just doing a good job building distance. Dallas now is going to be the target. Nick looking for the damage, popping his avatar. But at the same time, Dallas also popping his incarnation here. And he connect with the damage is the question. He's going after Zhang Bahai. Gets a kick onto him. There's a pre-life cocoon though onto Sol by Meep Monk. Now Nick gets caught up in a stun here as well. Dallas not getting too much work done though with this life cocoon, unfortunately. Gets a full cyclone though onto Nick, taking him out of the game for a second. And now Sol is a little bit exposed here. Doesn't have that life cocoon to fall back on from Meep Monk.
Oh, he's got Bloodlust though. Dallas is in bear form and can't attack. He's trying to cyclone with the haste. He's trying to fake interrupts. He doesn't fake him, and Prev's still on the bench. It's Drake on the Ret Paladin, so Prev just chilling at the moment on that bench. Meep in a stun, big push. Sol gets bounced away. He uses Gust of Wind to actually go for a Hex. Cheeky play from Sol there, reversing that Ring of Peace and getting crowd control with it, forcing a Trinket and a Life Cocoon, which means they're likely going to swap to Zhang Bahai. He's kicked on game 5. Can they actually dunk him? No, they can't. Drake is there. Double Blinding Light hits Dallas and Meep. But F tier, they are looking frisky right now. They're just switching targets, keeping them on their toes, and really testing Welcome to the Zhang and seeing if there are any holes in their armor, anything that they can take advantage of. Stuns into clones onto the warrior, taking him out of the fight, or onto the Ret Paladin. Now switching back onto Zhang Bahai, getting bleeds up. It looks like he wants to punish that window where he's used his medallion. Vortex to kite the melee, bear form to tank when they connect, and he's just allowing Sol to free cast lava bursts on them, just machine gunning them while he's in bear form. Meep sits through a Hammer of Justice. He knocks them away. Life Cocoon comes up soon, but he's so slippery, just jumping away from the fight. He is met by a Stormbolt, but he pre-maimed the warrior. Now he's going to rake stun the wings, getting total control of the game at the moment. Mana is even at this point between the teams. Big explosion of damage, but Meep is there with Life Cocoon, and now Dallas takes advantage of that to get bleeds up onto the Mistweaver. Sol is retreating away. Meep is kiting around the map, trying to use that large map to as much of an advantage as they can. Double Fear here hits. Sol choosing not to Trinket Tremor. He's just sitting through this. They're going to ramp up a lot of damage on that. Nick has sweeping strikes up. They get a double in-cap roar. He's cleaving 2 targets. Meep is still crowd controlled. They managed to survive with the Nature's Guardian heal proccing on Sol and his Voidstone barrier active. He's looking for hexes, which honestly, the hex, I think, is like the key to success here. It's the longest crowd control that they have. They can take a player out of the game with no way to remove it every time that Sol lands one.
Yeah. But Sol is not going to be landing too many right now. The Pain Train is coming for his destination. Full stun onto Sol. Nick coming in with the Blade Storm here as well. Dallas looking for some defensive Cyclones. Not going to be able to find it. Drake being very patient there with this kick. We love to see that. And they're going to pin him down. There's the Demolish. But he answers with the Astral Shift. So Sol should be fine in this position. Trading cooldown for cooldown. And I can see why they're afraid of this meat grinder that Welcome to the Jung has brought. If they can pin down Sol and get enough uptime, they are going to be able to take him down. But the Hex on Zhang Bahai is good. Nick is going to feel a little bit of pressure. And I completely agree with you, Sid. I think that is going to be the win condition here. Get a full Hex on the Zhang Bahai and then chain that into a Cyclone. But it is easier said than done right now. They are taking so much damage. Meep Monk is struggling here, getting the heals out onto his team. Finally, they're going to get a Cyclone onto Zhang Bahai. They're trying to turn the pressure around. Double leg sweep coming out from Meep Monk. But you don't have any damage. They're just going to use that kind of breather to escape from that situation. Now Dallas left behind, and he is taking a tremendous amount of damage as well. Zhang Bahai with the crackling Jade Lightning, just trying to add a little bit of extra pressure. But here comes the swap onto Zhang Bahai. Zhang Bahai, though, he's going to be able to get out of that one with the Sanctuary from Drake.
All right, Drake running around on his pony here, going after Dallas, who's a bear. Nice Hex on the wings. It's going to break, unfortunately, to the bleeds. They are ahead on mana. as long as they can crowd control these wings and crowd control these Warbreaker windows, I actually think F tier can do this. I legitimately think they can win this. They just need to keep the Cyclones that they've been getting on the cooldowns and deny them from connecting as much as possible. Another Hex being casted. They interrupt it. They're swapping healers. Jung Bahai, match point. Is he going to choke? He goes for the double leg sweep. Dallas, Trinket's out to go for a low health Cyclone. He's switching back on Drake. Life Cocoon just subsided. He's reloading bleeds, tearing into the Rep Paladin. Leg sweep from Meep, hits 2. They get the wall, but a double fear. And again, Saul chooses not to Trinket Tremor. He's trying to greet it out. He tremors the last second, but now Meep is into paralyzed. Spirit Bastion is pinning Saul. He needs help. He's dying through his astral shift. The melee blender has met him. He thunderstorms them away. They actually got Divine Shield from Drake and a sacrifice on the swap to Jung Bahai. So even though it's scary for Saul, they still have a chance. They're ahead on mana. They just need to make sure that they don't lose momentum, which they are right now. Saul stunned up. Life Cocoon from Meep will stabilize him. And are we actually going to see Welcome to the Jung in the lower bracket? This is unprecedented in the North American region at this time. F tier looks so good. They stun Jung, but Drake is there. Sanctuary onto the stun. Jung Bahai should be able to escape easily. Crackling Jade Lightning through, trying to maintain his damage buff for his team with all that physical damage. They swap to Dallas in the back, punishing him for trinketing earlier on. He bear forms after it. Battle stance, he's trying to root up with the Earth Grab. Typhoons to try to get distance away from the spinning hammers, but they're stacked up for another double. Saul moves in for a Thunderstorm, but it looks like it was on DR. It's not going to knock them anywhere. Dallas moves in for a Cyclone. He gets that onto the Ret. They're going to Jung Bahai. No Trinket, and I can't believe it, but the Intervene comes in from Nick, redirecting some damage. They stun him again. Can they finish him? They have to kill him before Drake gets out of this. He has lay on hands to be able to save if he needs it. Life Cocoon in 2 seconds. Can F tier actually manage to do this? Take down the colossal Titan that is Welcome to the Jung. Will he choke in these final moments? Everybody is dying, and he is struggling to keep them above water at the moment. Meep into a Hammer of Justice. Do not greed it out here, F tier. They trade out the Burrow. They manage to recover. That was their big push. That was the Ascendance. Now they need Dallas's Incarnation is 30 seconds away, whereas Drake has Avenging Wrath right now, and he's just launching it, but he's on the back foot, using that Divine Shield to save Jung Bahai later on. How is Jung Bahai going to allocate his cooldowns? He's Cyclone. He gets Cyclone on his Trinket, and Dallas is MVP right now, but Drake has lay on hands and will survive for another attempt. This is the closest we've seen F tier actually to be able to defeat Welcome to the Jung. They have such a huge lead. They have momentum, and they have Incarnation in 10 more seconds. T-minus 10. Can they survive? Saul pinned down. He trades out Astral Shift. The Cyclones look good. He's cloning the Cocoons and the Wings. Dallas wants to move in on Jung Bahai. They want to close this. Bloodlust is out. They Cyclone the healer. They're swapping back. Can they manage to do it? They need a purge on the Bop here. Drake is stunned up, and they've done it. They're so close on the Sanctuary. He trades out the Bop. It's a spell ward. Dallas can still kill him with physical damage. He's trying to finish him in cat form, but Jung Bahai is healing. He's used all of his mana. It's coming down to the wire right now. Meep has one more trade, though. He has his Life Cocoon, whereas Jung Bahai doesn't really have a great trade, just the revival this late into dampening. Hammer of Justice is down. Will Saul fall in these final moments? A full Cyclone from Dallas once again. Can they sustain Saul long enough to finish off Drake here? They're pinning him, but a Demolish comes through. Meep, he gets the Life Cocoon 1 millisecond before that paralyzed. It would have been lights out for Saul. He loads up the Stormkeeper. He goes for the Hex. He's launching the Lightning, and they are seconds away from possibly defeating Welcome to the Jung.
And they do it. Drake's ducking around the corner. Jung Bahai is trying to keep him alive. He gets caught up in a full Cyclone. They're connecting back onto Saul, though. Here's Nick with a double shockwave. Can he take him down? Beautiful. Ring of Peace is gonna... Here comes the pop from Saul. Saul is just popping off right now. That is gonna be it. Surely Drake is going to fall here. Double leg sweep connect. He's surviving with the Intervene, but Dallas is there with the restun. Can he take him down? Jung Bahai triggers into a full X, and Drake will fall. F tier has done it, proving all of us, and especially me, wrong. What an insane performance. Why didn't they just play this entire series? What are they scared of? Look how they play.
So troll.
They played insane.
So troll. Watching them play double outlaw, and they just look like they've never even logged on the specs before, and I'm just like, bro, there's no way you're logging on this right now. You have not prepared this enough. There's no way you're trying to do this into Welcome to the Jung. And then they play the Ellie Farrell and dominate them 2 games in a row on Rogue Mage, to the point where I'm wondering that this should be the comp that people use to counter Rogue Mage after watching it. And then they beat the Ret Warrior. They go to the deepest depths of dampening, an 8+ minute game. It was 9 minutes, I think, with back where we were watching at this point in the match, and they close it out. They can kill any target, which is exactly what you want as a team. Is you want that volatility where you could swap anyone. The Warriors low, they were getting Jung Bahai pressured. They could literally kill any player on the team at that point in the match. And every dog has his day, I guess, here, because Welcome to the Jung, they are in the lower bracket. Everyone is shaking down there that isn't Welcome to the Jung, I can imagine, at this point in time. And F tier march closer and closer to a top 3 position. Battling, they kind of betrayed it and went to the pirate side, but now they've maybe realized like they don't need the dark side. They can remain pure. They can remain clean on their feral Ellie shaman. They can remain untainted and actually somehow qualify with the Ellie feral.
I mean, I don't want to see them play anything other than this comp. They looked so good on this. This was crazy to see. Dallas, man, tagged in, doing insane damage. So clutch, finding the cyclones, finding the win conditions, setting up the stuns, setting up all of these moments here where they force the spell of warding, all these moments where F tier is kind of finding these big cooldowns. It's always at the back of Dallas leading the charge. Here, Meat Monk finds himself a nice leg sweep. And then Dallas with the follow-up stun onto Jung Bahai. He trinkets out, and Saul is there with the MVP Hex. You said it during the cast, Sid. It's going to come down to those hexes. And Saul was able to find them at the crucial moments. They're able to knock Welcome to the Jung down to the lower bracket. And I don't want to, get ahead of myself, but their odds of getting that last spot, guaranteed qualification to the finals, just went up astronomically.
Yeah.
It went up a lot. If you're competing for that third spot, if you are the Wolves right now, you're like, well,
they have to beat Jung too now, basically, I think, right? They have to beat Jung.
Yeah.
Because I think Jung, well, it depends on if they get a bye or not. I think we're waiting to see what's going on with Smiley Face.
Can actually confirm that they will be getting a bye, so Dire Wolves will be moving forward to the lower semis, and then it's Welcome to the Jung and Guild Bean facing off against each other, and the winner of that will face off against Dire Wolves Super Tees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dire Wolves, they get a bye, and now Welcome to the Jung versus Guild Bean. And we saw how badly they beat down the double outlaw of F tier. I mean, Guild Bean's double outlaw, though, I think looked a little bit more intimidating. Zach particularly, but I don't think they're going to be able to run it. I think Welcome to the Jung are just going to completely annihilate them, which basically means normally you send someone to the Wolves and it's that person to get eaten, but this time it's sending Jung to the Wolves for the Wolves to get eaten this time around. So like they literally just, I can't believe if they actually secure their top 3 with that. That's got to be the best feeling ever. You beat the team that dominates North America year after year to qualify for top 3, and then you get to watch them beat your competition down.
Gosh.
You just get to sit here for the rest of the tournament watching them beat everybody out.
They are chilling.
Can we see the standings real quick? Okay, yeah. Thank you, production. Yeah, I mean, all that has to happen now, like, I think getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but most of us would expect on paper that Welcome to the Jung is going to beat Guild Bean. That is one team out of the running for F tier, right? And then I would expect Welcome to the Jung to also beat the Wolves. So if Welcome to the Jung just shows up to their normal form, the way they normally play, F tier has basically solidified themselves as the third place team. But anything can happen. Direwolf played insane today in their Rogue Mage Mirror. So maybe they can just Rogue Mage Mirror against, Welcome to the Jung, and then it's just going to be a race. I don't know what's going to happen, man. I'm excited to see how this weekend is going to play out. Like, it's going to come down to Championship Sunday. It's going to come down to Championship Sunday.
Also, since I'm back on camera, I would like to offer a formal apology to F tier for my prediction, for all of our predictions. He definitely surprised us. Yeah. Yeah, my bad. Did you say my bad? Yeah. My bad. That's my bad. We'll move on from that, hopefully. But yeah, excited to see how they do in the rest of this bracket. So they're going to be against Gators back. And I think in the meantime, we have got a game to play. If you guys are ready, who lives in a house like this? So if you missed it the first time, basically production has put together a housing we did Waz, and then the time before that we did Tony Farrell. So production has put together a house via the housing system in World of Warcraft to represent a player in AWC. We're going to see if we can guess who it is. And we're joined by Ven as well.
Yay!
Yay! Here too?
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out. I've never played this.
All right. So we've got a gold chest. Maybe he likes to do cheese.
It looks like
Trill.
a second place. It looks like a second place statue. No?
Yeah, is that a silver statue?
It's a silver
Maybe,
statue.
Yeah.
So who gets second place all the time?
But is it like, I don't... Okay, let's see.
WizK?
Pie. Who likes pie?
Oh, G-Pies.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, Great
This
Fire.
is your
okay.
guys' house? Is this the bakery?
I was gonna say.
Why are the pies on fire?
Is that why Ven is here?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, so it's got to be some type of pyroblast. It's got to be a fire mage, right?
Somebody that plays mage. Somebody that plays
That's
fire
cool.
What
mage.
is that thing on the side?
Yeah, what is that?
Hansel?
I've never
Is that
seen that.
Is
That's
that a
so cool.
slot machine?
That was really
I don't
look
know.
like
Looks like it's from Undermine.
if they're
I swear that's an undermined slot
guess-
machine.
There's the Burning Crusade. So
looks
perhaps
like a
I
mage.
feel like this is this just
It's
Zico?
a mage's house.
Or I mean,
Is this Sam
Venriki?
I am?
How did they make this house look so cool?
This
Like,
is
it
the
has-
coolest house I've ever
what?
seen in my
Is this a
life.
Venriki
Yeah, it
house?
has a dark portal. It has like the BG like buffs.
I
I
don't
want to move there. I want to live there.
I don't think it would be me because everything would be on the floor, like, you know? Like,
The statues would be in
Floor
the corner on the
POV?
floor.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If it was Ven's house, it would just be like a block of ice in the middle.
Who has
It would
all
be
the
empty.
pies? And like what? And then the chest, and then
this is really, I like
I'm
this house
stumped.
though.
I want to say Sam I am, but they would have locked it in. I think it was right.
I'm thinking a mage, right? It's like a mage
That'd be a
from
mage.
the Burning Crusade. Is that right?
Who
Burning
plays
Crusade.
TBC as a mage other than Zico, and it's not Zico's house, unless it is Zico's house.
Oh, what?
Is this Zico's house?
What?
Who
What
is
would
there
the
any-
trophy in the
What about
chest
the
mean,
throne
though?
of TBC, and there's like noodles and a coffee
yeah.
on it?
Could it be Raikou maybe?
Who's the king of TBC?
And who likes noodles and coffee?
Oh. Wait, there's a Z. Like the. Is it
Oh,
Mao?
it's got to be Zico.
Is Zico.
But then what is the chest?
What's this
mean?
then? Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
It is my house.
Zico.
Wow.
What?
Hey, I
Oh.
said I wanted to live there. Okay, yeah, we take it. We
I
take
want to know
it.
the
we take
context of this. Like,
Too.
Like a dueling? Like, is it like a dueling thing with?
Oh
the
yeah,
dueling
maybe it's
flags?
the.
Oh,
the,
it's
second place. Did you
Yeah.
get second place in the
second
dueling
place in
tournament?
the
Yeah.
dueling tournament.
Yeah, I
Oh, okay.
I did.
Clever.
Oh,
And the pies
okay.
are on fire too. So that makes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice
The
touch.
G pies, I like that. I
Yeah,
should
me
have
too.
known.
That's good. It's a good
did.
one.
Yeah, Van, come on, man.
Hey, I thought I did think it was me or you. I did mention that the G pies. I was onto something with that.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying, if it was your house, I probably would have guessed it. But
Yeah,
yeah, I want to move.
I
in
mean,
there,
shouldn't
actually.
you know
I
your
said
own
that.
house? Like, let's just be honest.
I feel like I've repressed the memory of getting second place in that tournament because I lost a lot of money in one duel. So
To an SL Warlock. It's just
Yeah.
like tragedy.
yeah, that's tragedy.
All right. Well,
that's
let us
awesome.
know. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I love doing these. We need more. We need more production. Let us know in chat how you did. In the meantime, we are going to be heading to a break. Of course, housing has been so much fun at midnight, and it's really cool that we can play fun games like this. So, Zico, you're the third player. It was who do we have? We have Waz, and then we had also had Tony. So I wonder what's going to be next. I wonder if Absurge will ever actually get a house because we always guess him every time.
Nah, we can't.
All right, we're gonna head to a break. When we come back, we've got more series coming up next. We'll be right back.
Not bad at all. No, not a chance. Nope. Off with you. Top-notch craftsmanship guaranteed.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Last series of the day. We are here in the lower bracket, and a face that you may not be used to seeing down here. Welcome to the JUNG. We'll be facing off against Guild Bean Super Teas. There's a chance that Welcome to the JUNG ends their day here.
I think it's a pretty low chance if I had to guess, but
not zero.
Yeah, definitely, it's not zero, but there probably is at least a significant chance. I think Guild Bean would have to ascend like 4 different Dragon Ball Z arcs of power in like 20 seconds right now in order to surpass Welcome to the JUNG. So I don't know if there's like a Krillin that could just be taken out by Welcome to the JUNG and they get a power up from that or something, because like, yeah, the bets are, this is like, if you thought the bets last time were bad with F tier, I don't think a single person is gonna put points on Bean right now. I just don't see it happening.
Ooh, all right.
0? Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
there's someone out there put 40. He's like,
there's
you know
40
what?
points.
If he wins, he might get a lot, depending on this, right? Like,
That's
This-
crazy.
This might be the most overwhelming, one-sided chat prediction I have ever seen. Welcome to the Jung. It just keeps getting higher too, unfortunately. 498,000 points. Gildbean getting a little bit more, 17%.
100K?
Yeah, we got 100K
That's right,
on
Zico.
Gildbean, and I am interested to see. I mean, we doubted F tier in the last round, so maybe we will learn our lesson and not doubt Gildbean, but I definitely would love to get into talking about the series, because they're here in the lower bracket, Ben. I mean, what is that like, do you think, behind the scenes for them being in this position?
I mean, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this game, right? Especially if your Gators back. You want Welcome to the Jung to lose. You know, you're already happy they lost in the upper bracket. If they lose here, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gators back is putting all their channel points on Gildbean for this one. But I wouldn't count them out. I mean, you got some huge names on Gildbean, right? Like, they're not having the greatest tournament success, but these are players that, if they have a good day and they kind of come together as a team, I mean, Ceralium, Chun-Li, Kearney, I mean, these are some phenomenal players that have won championships in the past. So, Gildbean, there is a chance, but it's not going to be easy. Welcome to the Jung. Normally, like in the past, I've always said, they're a team that when they lose, they kind of come back stronger. There's two phases. It's like the upper bracket phase, and the lower bracket phase is even more deadly. So I am a little bit worried for Gildbean.
Yeah, definitely worried, especially considering kind of where they are in the standings right now. Super T's, they definitely need these. Welcome to the Dome, kind of in a good spot in terms of points. Gildbean, though, they're chasing those points.
Yeah, I mean, JUNG wants to really solidify as the #1 team in North America, I think.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, if they lost to Gildbean here, I don't think there's a world that F tier could somehow tie them or something in the top 3. I'm not sure exactly, but it would be pretty unlikely, I think, as you get 20 points every round, I assume, right? So I don't think they can catch them. So JUNG is locked in there on #2, but they want to be locked in on #1, not #2. So they are definitely going to be battling this out, although they look a bit shaky. Like, maybe if there was a day for the beanstalk to grow up into the sky and allow them to get to Championship Sunday, maybe today is that day, because they don't normally look like that. Normally they look like just a dominant force, just unbreakable wall that always has an answer, and they're just the ditto that transforms. And today it doesn't look like that. So maybe there's a small chance, but not big enough that I'm willing to bet on it. So, I mean, I'm going Welcome to the Jung 3-0. I think that it's likely going to be
3-0.
brutal. I think it's going to be brutal.
All right, Ben, what is your prediction?
Is that what you said about the last game, too, though? Out of curiosity.
Did I say it was 3-0?
I don't know.
I think you were 3-1.
So you didn't think it was going to be as bad, huh? You don't give Gildbean any chance? I was thinking about making some bold predictions today. I don't know. Is this the one that I go all in on?
The issue is I don't think Kearney will play Monk better than Jung Bahai. I think that's where I'm leaning. Like, most of my bets on right now is that, but maybe I'm wrong. I kind of feel like the double rogue is obviously something we saw Gildbean play, and I don't know if it's gonna work against like the rogue mage. So just because of that, I'm going Welcome to the Jung 3-0. Okay, you just talked me down that whole time. Like, are you sure?
I didn't talk you down.
Sure?
I was just wondering. I just wanted to understand your logic, you know?
All right, I'm going to go Jung 3-1.
Okay.
I do think it's going to be a Jung win. This burnt me last time, but we'll see. 3-1. I'm the only one. Okay. What's up, Ben?
I was gonna say, you know what's really interesting about North America is we're seeing like almost, are we seeing any druids? 0, I think, right? Like Europe, all resto druids. Everyone's a resto druid. And I would say Welcome to the Jung is a team that often like mirrors the European region in terms of like what they pick. A lot of the time, like they take those top comps, they play them, they practice them, they war game them. And I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing a single team in North America play resto druid, especially the ones that have rogue mage.
Yeah, I am as well. Also, why I'm so excited for the cross-region tournament. We know that third place for both teams will be playing against each other, and the winner of that gets to move on to BlizzCon.
That's going to be so fun.
So I'm really excited about that, especially since they've been playing separately for so long then, and we've seen these metas kind of develop separately without too much cross-region play to test them amongst each other.
Yeah, I think for me personally, that's like one of the most exciting things is just seeing the different regions combine. And it's one thing I miss from BlizzCon of the past. So I'm really looking forward to that this year. That's why I'm so excited, especially having like a team from China there as well. It's going to be really interesting to see the different compositions and playstyles these teams bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely exciting. All right, 28% in favor of Guild Bean. So they're getting a little bit more points here, 1.5 million currently. Welcome to the Jung does seem to be the overwhelming favorite,
A little bit more. It's 1.5 million points. That's a lot.
Yeah, a little.
Someone just put their house on Guild Bean.
Yeah.
Someone just like, what?
But I mean, if
Do they know something?
They might, but if you compare it to 3.8 million, that is definitely, they're still the favorite to win in the side of chat. I did tell them this morning that they need to lock in. They've got to catch up to Zico. They could still do it. So let's see what they can do in this series. We are heading into game number 1, elimination series as well. Winner of this one. Moving on into the lower bracket. Loser, unfortunately knocked out, won't be making it to Championship Sunday. Game number 1, Ben, starting now.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they play. Bean, I feel like for Guild Bean, they're not going to be able to play the double outlaw. They might try it, but I feel like I'd be more inclined to see Cerulean locked in on the mage, and maybe they play some outlaw mage mirrors. I feel like for Welcome to the Jungle, it's almost a guarantee they play the rogue mage monk, just based off what I've seen their picks be so far. So let's see. Oh, okay, we'll get a remake here, but we do get a little bit of information. Was that Kearney on
the Dragon RMP?
Prez? Okay.
Yeah, it was a Dragon RMP. What do we call Dragon RMP? Like, it's RM Chi when it's a monk.
No, it's still RMP. Rogue Mage Prez.
Oh, come on. There's got to be something cooler than that. Like
Omega Dragon Rogue Mage.
Rogue
like
Mage.
Super, yeah.
Double Dragon Rogue Mage.
Yeah.
Dragon related, like Dragon Force Rogue Mage. What are more dragon like movie themes?
Enter the Dragon.
MP.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
There's got to be something here with this.
RME Rogue Mage Evoker.
Hey, who do you think comes out ahead with this?
I have no idea. I kind of like the Prez, honestly. Like,
I think I like the Prez too.
The reason I like the Prez is you have Sleepwalk, and Sleepwalk is such an incredible crowd control, and it pairs so nicely with a mage because all of a sudden you have this extra element that you have to worry about with stopping, which is the Sleepwalk. So now you're worried about stopping Ray, you're worried about stopping Polly, and you're worried about stopping Sleepwalk. So it is going to be interesting. That being said, Evokers are also very susceptible to crowd control. So I could see Nick and Zheng Bahai maybe punishing him that. Like, I wonder, he is going to be playing Song of Chi-Ji. So we have Zheng Bahai playing Song of Chi-Ji, so he'll be able to get to Paralyze into the Song of Chi-Ji. And yeah, this should be a fun one because I really don't know what healer is supposed to win in these Rogue Mage mirrors. Europe thinks it's a Druid, but in NA, it's a different story.
Dragons and monks over here in North America. Zach has been looking good on that outlaw, though. I'm very excited to see this mirror head-to-head as the outlaw rogues cross the midfield. Zheng Bahai already in a kidney shot. Nick looks like the target, but he's blinked behind a pillar. Now Cerulean being pressured, but Kearney is there. And with Verdant Embrace, you can fly in, get a big heal, and also immune crowd control with Nullifying Shroud. It's going to be a very important tool for Kearney to utilize in a matchup like this. And the Preservation Evoker is also going to add a lot of damage. We can see him on the heels of Drake at the moment. However, they do engage with stuns, targeting Cerulean. He Dragon's Breath to deflect, but it's not enough. Kearney trinkets. They pop barriers at the Void Stone barrier there. He absorbs the hits. Now, the Dragon already being down the trinket is pretty bad. You won't be able to escape crowd control like Blind, which Drake still has available.
Yeah. Big Rare Frost gets channeled out by Nick as he gets a precog. Procs another one there, just faking out every single interrupt possible. Zheng Bahai just trades out the Life Cocoon. I really like that. He's going into crowd control. He trades out the Life Cocoon. They do some damage, but Cerulean might just die, gets interrupted, and completely owned. I mean, that was insane. Like I was talking about, Nick was just faking out all the interrupts. Zheng Bahai trades out the Life Cocoon, allowing Nick to just play mega aggressive. Cerulean gets caught in an interrupt, and they just destroy him for a quick Welcome to the Jung win.
It's so rough that they really didn't get to play that one out to its full length. Because, I mean, Zach was right on the heels of Drake, like keeping up toe-to-toe, but Cerulean was struggling a lot. I don't know if that's due to the instability that the Dragon provides as far as healing output. You know, you're going to have a lot more spikes that don't get negated by the Life Cocoons that the Mistweaver has to give you that kind of cushion in order to keep doing damage. And then these polymorph chains, Kearney just caught into a sleep, into a poly. Cerulean's kicked. It looks like he was kicked on Frost also. So he just got double locked right there. He was casting a sheep. I'm trying to see this replayed back. So he fakes a kick here, but Zheng Bahai just ports his sheep.
Ray.
And he just goes for Ray. And then he gets kicked here on his ring,
Frost.
I guess.
Ray.
Ray. Oh, he got counterspelled on Ray. He kind of got baited because he lands the ring, so he thinks he's safe, and then he gets kicked on the Ray and then dies.
It just had to be, and this is something I talked about earlier today as well with the first series we saw with Sea-Doo on Prez. Sea-Doo was not hesitating at all, and I feel like on Prez Evoker, it's kind of, you need to play with momentum, you need to play ahead. So I think in a situation like this, I mean, it's easy to look back in slow motion that it's like, this is, the Emerald Communion is coming in a bit laggy there, a bit too late, but I think you just have to be willing to trade that out way faster in a situation like that. And at least make those trades, because mages have so many blocks. If you get locked like that, going down in just 1 minute is super unfortunate.
I think it's probably just that he already used his trinket. So then if he uses communion, then he doesn't have anything. I'm thinking he probably wanted to rotate like a block, get it on cooldown, so it's rotating to come back later. But maybe there was some lack of comms there as far as like the level of danger for that moment, because usually like you got the enemy healer in a crowd control, and it's like you're in the winning position, but your team was also crowd controlled at the same time, so it's not 100% comfortable there to be able to go for the win. So they do go down quickly here in game number 1. They do lock in a large map. I feel like they should be, I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword. The dragon gets the benefit of adding a lot of crowd control with sleepwalk, but then while they're flying around, they can be crowd controlled as well. So I don't know if big map or small map is necessarily better for dragon in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't know either, but we are going to see the same matchup, and I like that. I really feel like, I don't want to say that was a cheese win by Welcome to the Jung, but I don't feel like that's exactly how the game should play out. Obviously, ideally, the mages are trading out all their ice blocks, and we get a little bit of a bigger sample size. The Mystery Monk's going to be looking good until his cooldowns are traded out, and then that's when you can finally capitalize and pull ahead. So this is far from over. Like you said, Zach's been looking incredible on the Outlaw Rogue, Cerulean on the Mage, Kearney backing him up on heals. This is a very strong team. But welcome to the Jung. This is phase 2, right? The upper bracket is one thing. The lower bracket is something entirely different with this roster.
Yeah, welcome to the Jung are pretty angry, I think, about that defeat. That's not very... They're usually the first team to lock into that grand finals. So being in the lower bracket this early on, they just want to wipe these teams out of the tournament immediately and just get back into the competitions. And they are proving that right here after that win. A very dominant performance from them. Cerulean's got a very well put together Mog here with those new portal shoulders. Makes you wonder, like, if you jump through them, like, where would you end up?
I don't know.
In the graveyard because he didn't block?
I don't know. Yeah, I do wonder where those portals go. It's a nice looking set, though. I feel like, with that tabard, it's accented quite nicely. And that staff, in my opinion, is one of the best staffs in the entire game.
Mage Tower staff?
It is, yes. It is the
Frost one?
Yeah, it's the Mage Tower staff for Frost. So that's one of my go-tos. It's just absolutely beautiful. I really think it's the best staff ever made, personally.
It's also something we didn't talk about is the item level boost. So we just saw it there on the weapon. The weapons and the trinkets going to 298 item level this time around, which is, increased the throughput for a lot of classes. Doesn't seem like it's had a huge effect. Maybe it has for Ellie Farrell, because that's a difference from when we saw Ellie Farrell versus Ret Warrior last time. Maybe that little bit of extra main stat is enough for them to get the damage output to be able to win. Maybe there's a slight influence possibly from that. I mean, the bigger influence was the Outlaw buffs to Trickster, I think, as far as the performance of the players. But Zach, I think, is doing a good job on the Rogue. He is just top on the meter, locking down targets. He's just got to get Cerulean and Kearney on the same page with each other defensively while they're making these pushes. Because I do think as long as they're not flopping right away, that Zach could be the secret ingredient for their team's success.
Yeah, Zach is super solid. He has been for a long time. And I really feel like Guild Bean, like on paper, at least in the past, these are players that are absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best. I feel like at a time, everyone on Guild Bean was like the best at their respective class, So they're obviously a very strong roster. I would like to see them at least put up a fight here for Welcome to the Jung. Even if they do get eliminated in this series, don't want to count them out, but if they get eliminated in the series, if they're at least picking up wins like that would be very good for them for the Gauntlet.
Yeah, Guild Bean are trying to climb up ranks in the Gauntlet, so they have to play less matches to qualify for a chance at that 3rd or 4th place position in the grand finals. Will they be able to do it here? Sleepwalk immediately on Drake. They blind Jung behind. They're going on Rogue, an aggressive opener here. They get his trinket outside of the smoke bomb. So that is a win condition in these Rogue Mage mirrors. If you force the Rogue trinket without using smoke bomb and then bait them into a bad position, you can just outright close the game. Now, Zhang Bahai will have tools like the Revival in order to immune magic damage, so you have to get prepared for that. In the meantime, though, Welcome to the Zhang are launching an attack of their own. Kidney shot on Kearney, but they can't follow it up with any crowd control, and he immunes it with Verdant Embrace. I think Kearney wants to go after Zhang Bahai here, but Ceruleum is struggling. Kearney's trying to pick him up. Chrono Flames come in. Verdant Embrace comes through. They blink through to go for a ring around the corner here. Ring around the Rosie. Looks like he Revival immuned it, and Ceruleum's just dead again. They panic. They panic hard there. At least they only trade the Communion. And maybe that's a smart move, honestly, for the Dragon, because it gives you mana back, but he's just dead now immediately afterwards. Time Dilation is finally going to connect here onto Ceruleum, and I feel like Ceruleum is just getting bullied at the moment. Kearney does get a nice Sleepwalk here on Zhang Bahai. He's looking to respond, but Ceruleum is still just hovering at below 50% health the entire match. It could just be a block off nothing. Kearney gets a big heal. Flies in with the Verdant Embrace, looking for defensive Sleepwalks. Pinning Drake out of the fight for a few moments here. Zach is trying to get momentum on Nick. Grapples over. Zhang Bahai moves away from it. They disarm Zach, so he can't go for the kidney shot. Kearney with the deep breath, trying to immune crowd control there, going for Sleepwalk. He finds it, actually, on Zhang Bahai, but he has Will Forsaken, Life Cocoon. And so now it will be Ceruleum on the back foot, and how will they respond? Likely an Ice Block. They get a sleep onto the whole team, and that's going to force an Ice Block, and now they are pretty far behind. I think outside of a Smoke Bomb here, if they could maybe get Drake in a bad spot, they get Adrenaline Rush, Ray of Frost, 100 OM, but aside from that, the chances are looking slim.
Yeah, it is going to be dicey. They need to find that miracle moment. Kidney shot on Zhang Bahai. They're going all in on the Mistweaver. Can they take him down? Do they have the damage? A huge hit, but Zhang Bahai tops himself off, and now it's going to be Ceruleum on the back foot. A great push here by the side of Welcome to the Jung, and that was a close call on Zhang, but he does have the trinket now, so not too worried. Ceruleum gets interrupted and is just exploding before our eyes. The altar time gets used. Back behind the pillar. Drake's all over him. Ceruleum blinks back. Gets the barrier, but might just die anyways. This damage is insane coming in from Drake and Nick, and Kearney's just in so much control. Finally, we'll be able to heal up Ceruleum. Hopefully, he gets interrupted. A nice counterspell by Nick. Kearney's in trouble, and it's going to be Ceruleum that falls. He's so low on health. I can't believe he's alive. The time dilation paying dividends for Kearney, reducing that damage and giving him enough time to stay alive. What a close call.
That was the lowest HP we've seen a player go without dying, I think, on the day at least. Maybe of the season right there for Ceruleum. That was a very legendary moment. If they managed to win off the back of that, it would be absolutely remarkable. They're still pretty far behind with a lot of cooldowns to work their way through and not a lot of defense left. He's dying through time dilation. There's not even crowd control on Kearney. He just can't heal the damage. Drake is ripping Ceruleum to shreds right now. Kearney flies in desperation to try and assist Ceruleum, but they're cutting him down every second after second. He's just dying. Kearney into the gouge. Drake moving forward, cutting through the barrier. They polymorph him in desperation. Zhang Bahai instantly dispels. They counterspell the poly. He can't blink. If he gets put into a stun here, it could be game over in that timer, but he just managed to escape around the corner. It's just been nothing but defense here from Guild Bean, just playing to survive. Finally, some crowd control. They get a sleepwalk on Zhang Bahai. They force Drake's evasion, and now they go for the deep breath. They hit two players. They hover back around the corner to Ceruleum, but Drake is right there to meet him with a blade rush. Zhang Bahai's in position to go for a sleep if needed. Leg sweep comes through. Ceruleum alter times. Do they spell steal it off? He's still sitting with it at the moment. He can bounce his HP back here at any second. He bounces back into the sleep there. He gets pinned for a moment. Drake is getting spam sleep. He's just dead. I mean, this is so much damage. They just smoke bomb him. He blinks out of it. Kearney is still counterspelled. He rescues him around the corner during the counterspell. Great use of that utility, but they're just getting beaten back time and time again. They switch over to Zach. They get his Cloak of Shadows immediately. Guild Bean, they're refusing to die, but for how much longer? A big swap on Kearney. Ray of Frost channels, and Kearney gets taken down. 2-0 lead for Welcome to the Zhang, and I mean, Guild Bean, they're just struggling to stay above water right now. It looks so challenging for them to be able to get a win in this match.
Yeah, Welcome to the Jung is playing this very well. They're playing very aggressive. I feel like Ceruleum is just, it seems to me in the game, he's just so far on the back foot. Like, Nick is really, there is little things too. Like, one of the things, like when you look at damage done on the meters, one thing that's not calculated, I do believe, is the Zen Spheres and the Mystic Touch. So just being a Mistweaver, existing and using your Crackling Jade Lightning, you're bringing a ton of damage. I think it's 10% for your team. In addition to that, you're giving an extra 5% to the Outlaw Rogue. So Drake is able to get a lot more bursts. These Ray of Frost moments are a lot more scary as well, just for the fact that you have those Zen Spheres for the Mistweaver Monk. But Ceruleum, to me, just felt like he was just so far on the back foot, just like barely surviving over and over, and not able to get out like the kind of damage you would want in a matchup like this. And it just seemed like Zhang Bahai was very comfortable for most of the game.
Yeah, it looks like a walk in the park. I feel like for Welcome to the Jung right now, unfortunately for Guild Bean, and they did snag that swap, and just see the Ray of Frost off screen, just channeling those hands of Frost. A bug zapper just like ran into the fly trap and got hit a little bit too hard.
You just
right
know,
there, so.
like, you just see the laser beam off stream. You know, it's like Nick's not even on camera, and you just see the beam, and you just know exactly what's going to happen in that moment. You know, nobody can stop it. Ceralium's out of range. Sadly, wasn't able to get there for the interrupt. And yeah, Nick just in a great position to land that Ray of Frost. And Kearney, unfortunately, in this situation, he had nothing left. I mean, maybe he could have traded out like an Obsidian Scales. He's got 2 charges, so may have been able to trade one out a little bit sooner. He's also, I think he's running Time Stop, but I swear I didn't see him use it once the entire game, like at all. So
yeah, I feel like as a Prez, you have to be like really heads up. Like you've got to be preemptively walling, preemptive time stops, preemptive time dilations. Like if you're not like 100% zoned in on the matchup and predicting all of this, you just get bodied out of the match really fast.
You have to, like, I feel like when you're playing a Prez, you need to use stuff preemptively to just delay the enemy team. Like a lot of it is just like, okay, I know I'm vulnerable here. I need to just like use wall to just delay them so they don't want to go on me. You just really make yourself not a target. And I do wonder, like, Time Stop feels pretty good, but like I said, I actually don't think he used it the whole game. I could be wrong. I didn't see it once. But playing something like the Obsidian Metal would allow him to get off casts in really threatening moments where no one could really interrupt him. That could be something, maybe get more reliable sleep blocks in the game. Something like that might be able to help them, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. We got the matchup. They're not backing down. Guild Bean. Somebody put their house on Guild Bean. That house is about to be repossessed, my friend. Welcome to the Jung. Look too strong here in the lower bracket. And I don't know, man. Like, a Welcome to the Jung that's been irritated like this in the lower bracket. I don't want to be any team down here. And Direwolves are... They know what's coming. The Direwolves know what's coming right now. And if they want to keep their top 3 or have a chance at their top 3 position, they have to beat Jung on Championship Sunday. And
Can we look at Kearney's gear? Because this is gonna be. I think Kearney actually forgot to upgrade his weapons, which is like,
what?
Really bad.
We need to do an inspection, a deep dive on every player, look at their weapons and meme them for not upgrading.
That's like, you need a gear check. This is like the classic. You need a gear check.
You need the Swapsy mom on the team. Yeah, he doesn't have it upgraded.
Yeah, that's big. Like that, we're talking huge for throughput.
He probably doesn't have the trinkets either.
I hope he has the trinkets at least, please.
Nope. The trinkets. No weapon.
Oh, no, neither of his weapons, and sadly...
There's trinkets. You remember the trinkets.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you not upgrade crafted weapons or something like that?
Oh.
But
that could be a thing, actually. I don't think you can.
But why? But then I'm wondering, why not just use a staff?
They would have to add something to the crafting table, I think, right? You'd have to add something to the crafting table where you put, like, the sliver into the crafting table to make it 298 or something.
But why wouldn't you just use the staff then? Like, and just, have the upgraded... Is he prioritizing his transmog over the item level?
He wants Thunder Fury. Thunder Fury, look... Can you even see Thunder Fury as a Prez Evoker when you're playing? Does it actually sheath on the side? I think it just goes hidden, doesn't it? Maybe it does sheath on the side. There's no way this can be better.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunate for sure, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Did you see what map? I was just looking at the gear. Would you know what map we're going to?
Not 100%. We're going to...
A hook point. Oh, a small map. Okay, so really small map. I feel like I like that for Prez. I really want to see Kearney just kind of get in there. I think they need to play super aggressive, trade out the cooldowns, kind of be unafraid, and get aggro. So,
all right, the bean signal has been lit. They need the bean mobile right now if they're going to manage to rise to the occasion here. They're coming straight out of the dirt. They have to win 3 games in a row against North America's Titans. Welcome to the Jung. They're taking it to hook point. They're taking it to close quarters. All of the marbles on the line if they want to continue their march up the gauntlet bracket for qualifications into North America's finals. But Welcome to the Jung are polished. They're calm, they're cool, collected, they're stylized, and they are not backing down. They just want to dominate and swamp everybody in this lower bracket right now. So they are fighting a hyper-powered up Welcome to the Jung. Can they do it? We're loaded into the map. We have our comps. We have our players, Jung, Bahai, Drake, and Nick on the left-hand side of our screen running that rogue mage. Mistweaver. And on the right, we got Guild Bean, Kearney running that Preservation Evoker, Zach on the Outlaw Rogue, and Cerulean now on a Fire Mage. So this is a bit of an adaptation here on the side of Guild Bean. They are going to burn their enemies faster, but also probably burn faster themselves. So a risky gamble from Guild Bean.
Yeah, and this is something Chanimal and I discussed. Like, what Fire versus Frost, who comes out ahead? In my opinion, I feel like Frost is better. Like, Fire's going to have that explosiveness, but you just do not have the same durability with one charge of your barrier and one ice block. So I'm a little afraid for Cerulean, but like you said, he's going to be a lot more explosive in this game.
All right, he's got his combustion available. Nick being pressured and pushed back. Cerulean and Kearney are crowd controlling Drake, I think. Between the sleeps and the polymorphs, they need to get more control. Cerulean is just dying at the moment. Leg sweep comes in from Zhang Bahai into a Song, into a Ring of Frost, and is it just KO for Cerulean in the opener? Kearney trinkets out, ducking in with the Verdant Embrace to get a heal onto him, but Drake is just doing so much damage. Zach drops a smoke bomb to stop the polymorph, I guess? That's a bit of a weird use, and Cerulean is still dying. He's launching the combustion, but he's the one dying on his own combustion. Nick is not even getting dented at the moment. Cerulean just cannot stay above 50% health. Kearney has to trade out Emerald Communion now, just seconds after the medallion. And this is falling apart for Guild Bean.
Yeah, this is not looking good. Full blind on Kearney. Cerulean likely going to be proccing the Cauterize. Potentially an Ice Block. Gouge on Kearney. The damage is incoming. Cerulean, please. It's getting real close. He's playing so greedy Cauterize, but at the same time, Nick is in danger. Cerulean, don't die! He goes into the Ice Block. This is looking like an absolute disaster for the side of Guild Bean. The Fire does not seem like it is the move. Kearney's getting shredded. Nick, though, gets interrupted. Maybe a miracle moment. 10 seconds here on combustion, but I don't know if Cerulean's going to get that time, and he is really struggling to get any pressure out in this match.
Trying to swap on Drake, but Zhang Bahai is just going around the corner, just left, right, easy time for him to heal. He is chilling right now. They have so many defensive cooldowns. They know they got this in the bag. Paralyze onto the healer, leg sweep for follow-up. Cerulean defies death for a moment, but for how much longer? He pops combustion to try and push back in defiance. Can they get an ice block from Nick? If they don't right here, they have no chance. Zhang Bahai did have to use some cooldowns, though, because he breaks free from crowd control and trades out Life Cocoon. But Drake is just continuing to keep the gas pedal on the floor. And I imagine that Nick is going to be blinking in here pretty shortly. He dies in the rescue.
That's it.
He's just dragging a dead body to its grave. And Guild Bean get absolutely destroyed here in this series. 3-0. Welcome to the JUNG. They are mad to be in this lower bracket right now. This is not where they go. This is not, they know this is not where they belong, and they are going to be an absolute beast in this lower bracket for Championship Sunday.
Yeah, welcome to the JUNG in full form, and you know, our discussions with I mean, maybe this isn't exactly how it's supposed to go, but Fire just does not seem as threatening as Frost. And my explanation as to why that is, at least I think, is when you're fighting a Frost mage, you have to worry about Ray of Frost. So you kind of hesitate on interrupting things like Polymorph, because you know if you interrupt a Polymorph, you're going to get Ray of Frosted. Whereas when you're fighting a Fire Mage, they have no casted damage whatsoever. So the only thing you need to really interrupt is Polymorph, delay the crowd control, and then just pop cooldowns during Combust, and they're not going to be able to get out too much pressure in between. So I kind of understand why most of the mages are opting towards Frost a lot more than Fire. And unfortunately for Guild Bean, I feel like this was probably the worst game we saw. Like, this was very one-sided for Welcome to the JUNG, but Welcome to the JUNG is looking like they are very focused and ready to go through this lower bracket.
You feel like they look better than they did in their first series?
Yes. I'm really to be honest, I'm a little confused with Welcome to the JUNG and their picks in that last series. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. The Ret Word definitely didn't seem that solid into the Feral, but I don't think they'll play that matchup again. I think that was probably just a learning experience for them, and I think Welcome to the JUNG tomorrow is going to be a very deadly team.
All right, Direwolves, you better watch your back. That is going to be who they're facing, and it's in the lower bracket as well, so they're staying alive for now. But we can see Direwolves and Welcome to the JUNG are in the lower semis, and we've got 4 teams left, and that means Gators back and F tier Super Ts are going to be up at the top in the upper semifinals.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I feel like if you're F tier, maybe this is your cup. Just don't play Double Outlaw. Just don't do that. Like, their Pharaoh Ellie looked good in the open bracket. It looked really good against this might, like, if they can beat Gators and Gators get rid of Zhang, and then they don't have to worry about any like alternate comps, because I feel like Gators don't I don't think they have anything that would completely counter Feral Ellie, similarly to what maybe Welcome to the Jung could concoct. That this could be F tier's week, which would be awesome for them as far as moving into the championship to actually take a cup title.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys were discussing, though, I am a little bit worried about if they do end up facing off against Welcome to the Jung again. I mean, that is a team that not only stepped up in that series that we just saw, but I have to imagine if we do get a rematch, Sid, they'll kind of know what to do the second time around against Feral Ellie.
Yes and no. I mean, I don't feel like they played that bad. I don't know, maybe. Like, I mean, I guess they kind of, the Rogue Mage matchup, they could have cleaned up a lot more, but the Ret Warrior, I feel like they probably learned that Ret Warrior is not maybe the perfect solution, though, and their Rogue Mage could be perfected.
Potentially. We'll have to see, because that is the last series of the day, and we are moving into Championship Sunday. It's the third and final Championship Sunday as well, so we will have solidified our standings for both EU and NA. We've talked about it so much over the course of the weekend, over the course of the first three cups, really just how important they are. It feels like there's kind of a lot more scenarios then that these teams are ending up in with the addition of the cross-region tournament, of course, and BlizzCon. There's the gauntlet as well. Then, I mean, where you end up in the standings at the end of the season is so important.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It kind of always has been too. Like you especially just like getting that first place seed matters a lot. Like if you in terms of your point standings get second and third, there's not really much of a difference because you know you're just going to be playing against each other anyways, right? Like you have the same opponent whether you get second or third. But that first place seed, you get the extra benefit of knowing that you're going to be playing, in theory, one of the weaker teams coming out of the gauntlet. Even though the team that does come out of the gauntlet will probably be a very good, because that's not an easy place to be in. But you're right, there's just so much on the line this year, especially with BlizzCon on the line. And even getting into that third place position and going to the cross-region tournament, that also feels like a very stressful situation, because it's one series against a team you really have no practice against to go to a LAN tournament like BlizzCon. It's going to be intense.
Yeah, definitely that gauntlet for sure as well, Supatis. If you had to place any NA and EU team together, who would it be? Who do you want to see fight against each other?
Who's in the gauntlet right now? Like, who do I want, or who's most likely?
Just any teams.
What team from North America versus Europe do you want to see?
Yeah. Regardless of standings.
I kind of think it would be fun to watch Direwolves. And then who from Europe is in the gauntlet? I feel like EU is like a lot closer. I'm trying to picture which team. Like, I mean,
doesn't even have to be in the gauntlet. Just anyone.
Last Dance versus Direwolves could be interesting, I think.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. Then?
Last Dance versus Direwolves. I want to see one of like the powerhouse Rogue Mage Druids from Europe play against a team like
yeah, I was thinking, who isn't in top 3 though that has that?
My question was just for anybody.
Well, if you do get third, then you have to go play, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you get third, then you have to go play.
Oh, in the finals, yeah.
Yeah.
So
but she said from the gauntlet.
I said from.
Wait, so
maybe I phrased it weird. I feel like I'm stud locking you. Just any team from EU versus any team from NA.
Okay. For some reason I heard from the gauntlet, and I'm like, wait.
Well,
what teams in
I
EU
talked
are from
about.
The gauntlet?
I did. Yeah. Perhaps I phrased it weird. That's my bad, Sid. I'm sorry.
I mean, everybody probably wants to see Waz versus Zhang Bahai, but I think that's really unlikely to happen.
Yeah,
although Zhang Bahai is not. Zhang Bahai's not having a great show here right now, and Waz was worried about how he was going to perform in this cup. Maybe it could happen.
I think there's a pretty good chance. Welcome to this. Maybe, yeah. You never know.
All right, well, it sounds like we do have our upgraded or updated standings. If you're in the chat, let us know who you think is going to be facing off against, or who you'd like to see facing off against each other from EU or NA. Apparently, I keep making this question sound a little weird, but it does look like Guild Bean will advance over the Shuffle Club due to the game record 4-3. So we're just using some math to determine that tie. So we've got a lot going on in the standings, and of course it's still going to be changing just a little bit. Here is NA right now. If there's a star next to their name, that means that they are still in this weekend's tournament. So right now, first is Gators back, second, Welcome to the Jung.
Oh my gosh.
And then third then is F tier.
Yeah, so like really the only thing that can change is who makes top 3, Direwolves or F tier. That's basically what we see tomorrow. I don't think anyone can catch Welcome to the Jung. No one's going to be catching. I guess 2 things. Who gets the first seed between Gators Back and Welcome to the Jung, and then who is going to be the 3rd place team versus who has to be the final boss of the gauntlet, which, like I said, one of the big issues to me, actually, I don't even know. It's really tough because who do you want to fight? Like, let's say you're coming out of the gauntlet in that 4th seed.
You want to be number 1 seed.
Yeah.
You don't want to be number 2. I think you want the gauntlet team based on the level of competition from the teams. If I was Gators back or Zhang, I'd actually want to finish in 1st. I think I'd rather get a gauntlet team.
But I'm wondering, like, if Direwolves and F tier are thinking about which team between Gators Back and Welcome to the Jung they would rather play against, you know, like, because both those teams are brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like no matter where you end up on this bracket or in the standings, it's going to be a bit
It's gonna
brutal.
be tough,
This
yeah.
is the story of North America. We've also got teams, of course, in EU playing tomorrow. That's going to be the first half of the day. We have 4 teams left in both regions. I wonder if we've got standings for EU, because it's also been a very competitive season over there. Super T, is any teams that have particularly surprised you in that region so far this season?
I mean, we were expecting Burger King to do really well with Morrow, right? The return of Morrow. I think Blizzo is probably pretty happy about the changes that are coming. So if they can like safely get top 3, they're going to probably be very excited for their position, I think, for the finals, given everything that's happening. But I think Streamer Zone were probably the most surprising. Like, they just have very strong ladder players. It's usually Dobob and Echo going head to head, and Dobob's all the way down at 5th. So Streamer Zone look very good, phenomenal at the moment. Stop Nerf Mystery were always very entertaining to watch them try and make it work with their Devastation Evoker comps. And I wonder what this is going to look like, because Specialty, Rogue Mage team, right? Last Dance, Jungle. Abos Babos, Rogue Mage team. Dobob, Rogue Mage team. Like, after the changes that come in, if somehow Rogue Mage doesn't end up being the best, like, there's a lot of teams here that need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, especially with all of the very important matches that we've got coming up for both of these regions. I don't know if we've got the Europe EU bracket left for the teams that are left in that region tomorrow, but like I said, we'll be starting off the day in EU, ending it with NA. We've got Echo versus Habos Babos up top. I'm really excited for that series, Ven. I'm excited to see what Habos Babos can do against Echo.
Me too. I'm just curious if anything has evolved in Europe. You know, when we were looking at the games yesterday, it seemed like all the teams are pretty clear cut in playing, you know, the Rogue Mage with the Resto Druid. And I'm curious if that changes at all. Like, is Echo going to be feeling confident putting, you know, JT versus Dex on the Resto Druid? I don't know. I feel like it would be a very bold thing to do, but maybe they need that confidence. And that's why I think Habos Babos is such a dangerous team, because if that really is the meta, having Dex on your team is a secret weapon.
For sure. And then down in the lower bracket, Burger King versus Streamer Zone GG, the series that Super Tease was just mentioning. But let us know which series you are most excited for, which region you're most excited for, or any teams in particular you are rooting for, because that is the end of today. And yeah, RIP Shurha, smiley face. We, of course, didn't get to see them play. Very unfortunate, but thank you guys so much for watching. We will see everybody tomorrow for the 3rd and final Championship Sunday. Same time, same place, twitch.tv/Warcraft. We are also live streaming on YouTube, and we are also on Twitter at WoW Esports. Make sure to go follow that Twitter page for all kinds of updates in relation to WoW Esports. Thank you everyone so much. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.